Hey, everybody, it is Tuesday. It is from the barracks. Did you miss us? Did you really miss us? We were gone for an entire week. Doing the Central Penn Milsim game, Operation Big House, the Syndicate. We are waiting for Dylan to join us here in a minute. He's having some technical difficulties coming in. So, obviously, welcome, everybody. It's Tuesday. It's from the barracks. Papa and I are here to talk to you a little bit. I know. I don't like all the dead space around us. There you go.
Now I got to zoom back out. And gosh.
And then as soon as you're all set now?
Yeah, why not? Whatever.
Well,
good enough. Whatever. Good enough. It'll work. It'll work.
So, obviously we had the Syndicate game this weekend, and I had a blast. It was some stuff that goes up there. But before we get into all that, let's make some our typical thing, which is announcement time. While we wait for some people to get on, we're waiting for, hopefully Dylan can jump on here pretty quick, so we can jump into this AAR and go into all the other stuff. Chat has already exploded. Hey, everybody. Hi, Josh. A.T.E Airsoft, hello. Brandon Brooks, what's up? Robert Stillwell, good evening. Aaron, hello. Gert, hello. What's up, buddy? Jonathan. Okay, Pasa, that's about as much Spanish as I speak, sir. Can I get a war crimes? What's up? All right, guys. Welcome, everybody. That thing has already jumped up to 30 viewers. Thanks, everybody, for coming on.
Mr. Weber.
Hey, Weber, how you doing? All right, so announcement times. Upcoming events, well, we start off with that. But actually, before we get into that, we really should thank all of our awesome sponsors that make this happen. And here's Dylan. Now we go to this setup.
You're breaking my heart. You're so excited to talk about this, you forgot to actually introduce me. It's okay.
Well, Dylan's here now, so now I can do all the introductions. I was waiting for him.
Log back in.
You know what? Look, it's been a week, man. We forgot how to do our live stream. It's been so long. It's like lizard brain going out. I am Joker for Players with me. Yeah,
I'm gonna sit here. I got a couple of things I got to do over here. I'm getting ready to eat. We're gonna let you go ahead and do what you got to do to get yourself together.
All right, let's try this again. I am Joker for Players Wanted. With me is the man, the myth, the legend of the shortest stature but biggest heart, Greg Paparisi from Dead End Outfitters.
What's up, everybody?
Joining us also right now is Dylan from Central Penn Milsim. On the field during the event, through everything. So I'm sorry, guys. It's been a week. I was out of town for 8 straight days. Got in yesterday at 7:00. I even went to bed at midnight last night, which is like everybody, like a normal person to go to bed 7:00 in the afternoon. So going over some our great sponsors. Let's go ahead and talk to them. We always want to thank Dead End Outfitters for all the huge amount of support they give the channel, all the cool stuff they give us, like great upgrades and all that stuff. The grenade that they gave me to blow somebody up with yesterday on Saturday was great. So thanks Dead End Outfitters. We want to go ahead and thank we actually want to thank Big House Produce for all their cool stuff that they do. I should probably have a script right here so I could just read it off instead of trying to go off of the top of my head. High powered.
It's only been a year. You're getting there. Slowly, you're getting there.
You know what happens? We add something else, and I don't know what it was. My ADHD was great when I was up at Central up in Pennsylvania. As soon as I got home, it's like, "Hey, bitch, I'm back." Give me a second here. You warm now, Joker? I was warm the weekend. Everybody else was freezing their ass off. So we want to thank Big House Produce for the massive amount of support they've given us and the opportunities, and also what they're going to do to the Battle Plus. Sorry. Okay, and we also want to thank Press On Apparel for the awesome dead rags and maps that they did for the event. I love these things, the microfiber dead rags. These could be custom made for your team. A bunch of other cool stuff that was there. Let's see, who else can we thank? We can go ahead and thank Assault and Battery Airsoft, and there's another one. There's another.
Starts with an A, ends in an E.
Starts with A, ends with an E.
Got a T in the middle.
And they do events. A.T.E Airsoft, Apocalyptic Tactical Events Airsoft. Weiner Bulldog for their support for the channel. And guys, I really can't wait till they start bringing out some events next year, so you guys can really see what they bring to the table. So jumping into that, let's go ahead and Dylan, thanks for coming on, man. We're gonna
thanks for having me. Appreciate it. Always
fun. You got to put this one up for me. I got to make a quick comment on it. From Garcia, A.T.E Airsoft team, Florida.
Oh, that one.
Not that Joker Your Meat was actually good.
I'd like to thank Papa for the best customer service I've received in a very long time. Papa did everything possible to make me happy with the commission of my new HBA. Thank you, sir.
I didn't want you to put that up to be self-serving, although it was a little. The whole thing started off. I hate Antonio now.
You're not the only one.
He was such a jerk. I got to tell the story real quick. I get up there, and because some of the parts for his gun hadn't arrived and wrong parts showed up, and you guys all you know all the problems that have been going on with shipping and blah blah blah, whatever. I'm gonna go through it. I promised him that he'd have his gun for the game, and so I even sent him a message. I'm like, look, I had to take some liberties. I had to do this for you. I'm getting your gun. If anything happens, don't worry about it. If you're not happy, I'll just bring it back. We'll get it right. But I had to do what I had to do to get you a gun. I said, no problem, no problem. I get up there. I see him. I bring over the bag. And I open the bag. I said, now, please remember, like I said, I took some liberties because I thought you might like this. I take the gun out of the bag. And this jerk, he looks at the gun and he looks at it just like this. Here's the face he makes. He goes, he does that. I'm starting to well up. I'm so upset. And he goes, he waits too long. Like, he would just, and he goes, I love it, Papa. I'm like, you son of a. I almost come over the table at him.
By the way, that's the last thing he needed that day. And I swear to God, if you would have kept it going and he would have came over upset with the shit that I went through last week, I would have kicked you in your.
It would have been, no, that I absolutely didn't. And so he set me up for that, which fine. Okay, what a jerk. I deserved it. But yes, the day went on, little bits and pieces, little tweaks, things like that. But ultimately, from what I understand, he actually has a pretty good story about some of the things he was able to do with it. But no, he in the end, it was good. But what a jerk.
So moving right into it, obviously Operation Big House, the Syndicate was started on Saturday, and it was essentially a complete and total reset over Operation Lockdown. So we came back in, we redid all the rules, we reconfigured a bunch of things, and I realized we're about to jump into something without going back to what I was going to say. God, sometimes I just love my brain. All right, so upcoming events. We have 2 more events to finish out the year, guys. This weekend is Wasteland up in Ocala at Wayne's World of Paintball. It is actually a role play event from the guys at MGP Airsoft. They actually put on some pretty good events. It's a role play event, limited ammo and everything else. It's a really fun event. Tickets are still on sale. And some of us if some of you that actually make the trip down to get out of that frozen tundra of the north and come down there, you'll see some of the very same familiar faces you played with before. So we have that. And then the final event for 2021, for me at least, is going to be Revelations. So I'll be going back up to the frozen tundra the day after my birthday.
You can have it.
It's going to be cold up there.
No more. I'm done with all that.
I actually get to wear my trench coat and not get in trouble with it. Anyways. So Operation Big House of Syndicate. So before we get really into the nuts and bolts of all this, the nitty gritty.
Nips and butts. You literally just said nips and butts. Just
on the mind.
Very good.
So Greg had no insulation.
No.
So let's go ahead and mention the awesome sponsors of that event. All right. We want to thank A.T.E Airsoft for helping the event go off. I mean, they with all the props that they loaned to the event, the control boxes, the bomb prop, all that stuff. Thank you very much for ATE. XFOG. We want to thank XFOG for their raffle items. We raffled off an XFOG unit with I think it was X Cortex a pouch for it. We also gave away a whole bunch of hats and patches galore. Press On Apparel gave away a whole bunch of maps and dead rags and stuff. So thanks, Anthony or Tony for that. Blah, 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 blah. Oh, you shut the hell up, Gert. We'll get to that later.
It's a mystery.
It's a mystery. We want to go ahead and thank Tactical Airsoft Combat Solutions for the cool stuff that they put up there. We also want to thank all the other awesome people that came to this event to hang out. MK Airsoft gave a hell of a lot of good raffle items. It's a toss up between who gave the best raffle items, whether it was another company. I forget the name of that company, man. It's some small little place that's in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Fort Lauderdale.
It's definitely not in Cape Coral. I mean, no, all kidding aside, I want to thank Dead End Outfitters for the awesome raffle item that they also gave there. We also want to thank MK Airsoft for providing dinner for everybody, for the most of people anyway.
Well, wait, hold on. I can't. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. But look, it's the guy who had a real world incident. And he just commented.
Thank you for dragging my ass up the field after I collapsed. Got to drink more water and keep myself hydrated. Maybe the ambulance won't have to come get me. The seizures are done, and I'll be going home tomorrow.
Dude, I'm so glad to hear you're doing better. That's awesome.
Yes, we are. And we're going to address part of that later on this evening. So, glad you're doing better. And Brandon, I was getting there. I was messing around. And, of course, we want to thank Amped Airsoft. They were out there. They gave away some pretty awesome items as well. I think that's all the ones that are out there.
That's kind of hard to take human bites when you're eating giant right doing so.
It didn't work, Dylan. In all seriousness, Amped Airsoft was out there. They gave us a lot of great items as well for the event. I do want to thank MK Airsoft for buying everybody dinner. We will be addressing the dinner situation later on in the stream because there's something very important I want to go over when it came down to that. So with that being said, let's go ahead and talk. Let's start off our AAR. We're going to talk admin side first, and a little bit. We're going to bring Fallon from Echo 4 on, Alex Fallon, Skywalker, to talk about the JTF missions. And then after that, we're going to bring on the 2 CEOs and then go over some final thoughts a little bit later. Yeah, I know, Rob. We're going to go over that. I said later. All right. Sorry. Whenever I get interrupted, guys, just understand for some reason my ADHD has been kicking off the roof. So if I keep constantly getting interrupted and I forget to mention key things, I truly apologize, especially when it comes to mentioning sponsors, because it's like a derailment. So we're going to try to stay on point. So first and foremost, we're going to talk about what went well at the start of the event before even all of you guys showed up. So I got up there Monday and we started marking off buildings and all that. And I don't know what ghost or individual decided between Tuesday and Thursday to come on and set up a freaking altar down in the basement. Screw you, that was freaky as hell.
I saw that.
It was not there Tuesday because I was down there.
Was it the one that had lights going to it?
Yes. Ooh.
Yeah,
cool.
yep. I know it. I saw that. It was pretty freaky.
It was something rather massive, and I was unsure what that. I mean, we went down there, and everybody's like, "What's this?" And I was like, "Oh." It was not there.
Something new every time.
So for lockdown one, we really didn't use the inside at all. I guess we used part of it, but like the ceiling tiles were all messed up. So we made a commitment that we were going to clean up building 2 and turn that into the base of operations for everybody to hang out, have a good time, and do all sorts of cool stuff. So, and we did. It was very effective. We got it taken care of. We got that thing going. And it was first on Monday, it was my daughter and myself. Dylan had car trouble, so he wasn't up there. So me and my 15-year-old daughter were like, we'll get started on this. We started breaking them down, leaving the mess on the ground. And then Tuesday we came back, and it was like Ghost came and cleaned up. It turned out it was Jess from Big House Produce because stuff was like halfway picked up and cleaned up. We got back at it again, and we got most of the front room done. Went on to work on the second half. And next thing you know, an army of people came walking in. 18 volunteers came in to help. And
when there's nothing left to do. Perfect.
Oh no, there was.
There was still stuff to do. Yeah.
So I actually said in a comment, I said to them, I was like, okay, here's the plan, guys. We're going to break these up. We're going to then take them out, but we should probably do the room in thirds because how big of a room it is. I would hate for you guys to knock all these things down and leave me with a huge mess and then go do whatever because they were there for a little bit. Well, I went back to the front room and start knocking stuff down to finish off, and I stepped outside to go do something. I came back, and the volunteers did exactly what I did not want them to do. I came in, and the entire ground was just covered in ceiling tiles. And I was like, well, that's a problem. Because as they were helping me clean up and go out there, they suddenly decided that they were done for the day. Or not some of the shows that were done, but just that was their time to end. And this is what it looked like.
It's only a few tiles.
Only a few tiles. So that was like, well, that's not good. So then Angie and I started getting work on it. Did anyone ever find the 5 red bags in the gym and building 8 inside the bleacher? You know what? Probably not.
Yeah.
So we got out there and we started taping stuff up, and then somebody had to have been on the property Tuesday or Wednesday night because some of the areas that were marked off previously the tape was now ripped off and we had to go back up and reset. And then then we found like stuff left over from the zombie people. We had to clean up from them from the zombie event. And they left us a nice little present, little red bags that are now dubbed heroin. And come Thursday when I was doing the live stream and everybody was watching the live stream, I was giving updates and all that. As I'm in my hotel room talking about bombs, cocaine, having bags of cocaine, bags of heroin, and everything else, lo and behold, I guess the neighbors on either side of me heard that. And when I went to go check out Thursday morning, I go walking up, give the key. She goes, 27, you're here for that event up at the prison, right? I said, yeah. She goes, I thought so. I stopped the cops from coming down to your room.
Oh my God.
Oh, and I did get a ticket going up to the event. So
Lucky they didn't search the car.
Well, in my car there was nothing except a whole lot of airsoft guns. So I didn't bring the drug props. I know better, especially when I'm going to that many state lines.
Yeah, right.
So it was, well, I mean, look, not for nothing, but if I heard a guy bragging about having so many bags of cocaine and heroin and a bomb, I might be a little bit concerned as well and possibly make the same phone call.
Right.
Why am I not wearing my new maternity clothes? We'll talk about that shit with you jackasses later on.
Hey, speaking of hotels, by the way, can I say something about my hotel?
You can get to that in a minute.
Oh,
They're going to complain about it anyway.
Mhm. Oh no, I'm going to. I'm going to.
Yeah. So going up to the Thursday, it was like a whirlwind of getting the last couple of things set up. Oh, I will say Wednesday night, I went down in like it had been like 5:30, 6 o'clock. I was down finishing up stuff, working in the building 7 in the morgue. And I'm downstairs. I walked downstairs, went halfway because I was like, all right, this is going to be a good spot for this. I got screamed in my face. Full on loud scream in my face. I was the only one in the building. I said nope and got the hell out of there. It was bad. So going on to Thursday, Dylan showed up to start helping. We started getting stuff rocking out. There was some communication issues on things that had to happen for Thursday, which is, with an event this big and with like so many moving parts, there's always bound to be something that happens that doesn't go right. So, it's everybody worked extremely hard with the time that we had to get the last bit of stuff done and ready for the event. We got a lot of the doors opened. So for those of you that were there for lockdown 1, we're probably pleasantly surprised for lockdown 2. There's a lot more access and open doors across the entire facility.
Right.
So it was just a little haunted there, just a little bit. So I was trying to so we actually set up building 2 in 2 stages for vendors. One was a front. Originally the intention was to set up everybody in the front, and the very back was going to be for JTF. Well, I didn't realize how much stuff Press On Apparel was bringing. So we realized that was a mistake real quick. Greg took over the second half of building 2. JTF mission went there, and it went by just fine. So everything got to shut down. So starting Friday, we had traffic control there. We thought there was honestly going to be a hell of a lot more campers coming in Friday, and there was not many campers that showed up Friday, which was kind of surprising. Well, I imagine when people first woke up in the morning and they went outside on Friday and they say, "Holy shit, it's 30 degrees outside." I'm not camping after all.
Right.
I went and got an RV and brought the RV to the site so that I could be on site in case anybody needed anything throughout the night and make sure nobody went on property and everything else. My own problems with, which we'll talk into housing in a minute, was that RV had some issues. So when people started showing up, the process for people to come in actually was pretty good. Most people, we didn't have many cartels show up until after 4 o'clock anyway, so it didn't matter.
Right.
A lot of DEA showed up early. They got their spots set up and they started setting up their campsites and all that. And then we opened the doors for opened the gates at noon, and 1 o'clock we actually opened registration, everything early, because we had somebody get in late.
Guilty.
Don't know who we're talking about. Don't know who we're talking about.
Guilty.
We had a couple guys show up late to get things moving. So at this point, Papa, what did you think? What did you feel once you arrived?
Oh, okay. Once I arrived, because I didn't go to hotel till the next day, so we'll get there. So we got in, and let's see, we got in, when did we get in? Friday morning, right? My first time being there. From the outside right away, I was actually impressed. I didn't know what to expect. I had not seen, the AO prior to that. So, the fencing, looking, obviously it was a prison, so looking like that. The prison we play at down here, it was a like a prison camp. Something completely. It wasn't fenced in. Didn't have barbed wire. Didn't have the gate. Didn't have all that. So I was actually pretty impressed. Was not impressed with the weather, obviously, but I'm not original in that statement. All in all, I mean, like space wise, ease of access, things like that, pretty good. Again, not much to say. I didn't get out on the AO at all.
I'm a little upset about that.
Well, I got ready to go out there, and then the wind carried me away. So, the little person problems. Yeah, I know, Nick. Just saying it was cold was an understatement. Yeah.
I want to interject real quick and bring somebody in real quick. I want to go ahead and bring in Alex Fallon or Skywalker, as you would, from Echo 4. So he's been sitting in the lobby for a minute or two. Figure we might as well bring him in, the leader of the JTF in a civilian fashion. So thanks for coming on, Skywalker. So continue, Pop.
Yeah, no, I'm obviously I also didn't expect literally 8 gas stops between here and there, totaling nearly $700 in gas.
You only had 8? That's
so it was unexpected to say the least. Got there though, and honestly, I got to say, with Alex popping on right now, it was perfect timing. I pulled up, we parked the truck, dropped the ramp. And within seconds, everything was off. Everything was gone. It was a fireman's line, bucket line. They just grabbed everything. All of Echo 4. Anybody that was standing around was like, "I got hands," and they just grabbed everything and brought it inside. Absolutely amazing, wonderful. It was it was fantastic. The help. I mean, that started the mood for the weekend, and it stayed that way. It absolutely stayed that way. And had that not been, I would have been more miserable. I was miserable as it was. Had not been, I would have been more miserable. But you guys really helped out in that and elevated things to where they needed to be for a pleasant experience.
Okay. Dylan, what did you, when you got there, what are your thoughts before we jump into the next segment, which was almost perfect timing for Skywalker?
I'm sorry. I read this slowly. I read this slowly. First, I was kind of scanning it. Thank you, Skywalker, for taking my wife and I through Friday night. So there's a way to read that effectively and it not be filthy. It's absolutely filthy. And good on you, Alex. Good job.
So Dylan, going up through Friday night, how do you think everything went and what needed to be worked on and stuff like that?
So everything went pretty smooth. JTF was great. I heard. I wish I could have been there. I was a little jealous, to be honest. Everybody had great things to say about it. There's so many comments like, "Oh, I've never experienced anything like this in my life," and I was so happy and grateful to have you guys there. Thank you again, for coming out. I know it's a long drive, but heard you guys made a great impact on it.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that. I know my guys appreciate hearing that. And I know that a lot of the player feedback we got was positive. So, and we got some great constructive stuff to work on and make better for the events in the future as we do these other places. But I'm glad that we could at least take a few people through that I know we blew their minds. So that's always fun.
Yeah. So continue, Dylan. Sorry.
Oh no, you're good. That's pretty much what I had to say. Everybody who showed up was very helpful. Preston, from Press on Apparel, he came in clutch near the end, helping print out the maps. All the vendors were pretty great, pretty self-sufficient. They didn't really need much, which is always great from an admin standpoint.
They needed one thing, and they stole it every single day, which was that heater.
Yeah, that's true. We need just a strict admin heater next time. Admins only.
All right. Everyone's complaining about it being cold and about the weather, but I want to remind some of these Florida players that we play in like typhoons down here, and I'll take snow where it doesn't stick all that bad any day.
Any day of the week.
No way.
I'm from here, and even I disagree with that.
Hey, you haven't been through a Tampa thunderstorm. That's what that is.
Yeah,
right. I want to go back home to West Palm.
There you go.
There you go. Wellington.
Oh yeah.
So going into like 545. So one of the biggest things that we stressed when we were going through was, that we were hearing to a lot of stuff, and people were complaining that ooh, I don't have sushi tonight. My wife made something with her new toy. So one of the things that we stressed was we want to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to do what they paid for, right? The last thing that we want is for somebody to spend $50, not show up to a JTF mission brief and miss the JTF mission brief and can't play. I believe there was one guy that came in after the missions was going on that was complaining that he wasn't going to be able to, that he got there late. And I was like, I'm sorry, man. We were specific because I can't pull those guys off the field to give you a safety brief to go out there. And he grumbled a little bit, and I gave him a couple patches, and he went about his merry way. And again, I'm sorry for that individual, but we opened stuff up early for chrono and all that for the reason to make sure that everybody got chronoed and ready to go. Which chrono line went fast, so I want to thank Bulldog, Weiner, Tinker, Yordi. You were there too, Papa?
No, my guys were though.
All right, well, let me get to your guys. You're raising your hand like this, but John, Ethan, Christian, I think was out there too, right? Christian and Marley were helping.
Modify Max.
Modify Max, that's who it was. Modify Max. All those guys that went out there and ran the chrono station, that was extremely helpful. But I'm going to let Skywalker chime in with. I was not there for the JTF mission brief. I was too busy getting stuff ready. So, all right, Skywalker, your show. Tell us how it went.
From our perspective, and from hearing feedback from the players, it seems like everything went pretty well. I won't let anybody in on the behind-the-scenes glitches because I think half the fun is the magic of theater. But as far as everything, the briefing went really quite well. I'm glad I was able to get the projector from you guys. Thank you for that, Dylan, you and your guys.
I had to explain to people, by the way, when you were calling for the briefing, and you used expletives in a very aggressive manner.
I would never do that.
I'm like, it's showtime. I'm like, it's showtime. Just don't worry. I'm like, he's really a nice guy. He really is.
I swear I'm a nice person. I play a bad, mean person on the field. So my friend and I bought us. That's awesome. So this guy's saying that is the coolest thing. Condition 0 airsoft. Hey, I really appreciate that, guys. That's a lot of the feedback we get. Is I think what we try to put on is something that's really unique for you guys. We like to put something on that's something that you will not find other places, and I think we did achieve that this time. So we had our briefing, like Papa said. I like to start it with a little bit of aggression. I think that it gets attention and it sets a tone for the night, and we were able to set a really good tone. Our players were really receptive, with one or two exceptions. People were paying attention during the briefing and managed to follow all the rules during the night. The only one we had a player pick up one of the other players' guns. This is no. But we had a lot of cool stuff planned for them. With one exception, everything went off as planned. We had all of the pyro stuff happen properly. We had a lot of fun with the blank fire stuff. I have to say, I really had never seen any of the tracer units, and I don't know who makes them. Where they've got the like fire and the ring around the actual tracer.
Bifrost.
What are they?
Bifrost.
Yeah, they're awesome. A few of our guys were using them during the JTFs, and the players thought that all of our guys had blank guns. And I was like, no, they're not all blank guns. There's a bunch of actual BB guns in there, and the videos of it look they look side by side with the blank guns to be real. So I was very impressed with those tracer units. Our guys ran a few of those. I know a lot of people ended up in the shoot no shoot scenarios. As far as an overarching thing, for those of you that didn't make it to it, the JTFs. Let's see here.
This one is important. I wanted to highlight this. This is the guy's first time picking up an airsoft gun and using it on any field whatsoever. And his first thing he does in airsoft is a JTF mission. Talk about everything else going downhill from.
Yeah, you're gonna be downhill from here, man. And that's not me tooting my own horn. I'm just letting you know, you go to a big op, you're gonna go to a weekend match and be real disappointed.
Right.
Steve Tat said that you got huge props from Dark Horse 6.
Thank
no,
you.
not that one. Further down.
Well, there was a reason why I brought this one
Yeah.
up. So I really do want you to go over the style of guns that you have there.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that way people can understand a little bit more. Whoops, I'm sorry.
So I don't have any out right now. They're all clean and put away, which thank God for all of my guys for putting a lot of work in for that. But we have 3 basic styles of weapons that we use for the JTFs that are not airsoft guns. The first is basically real steel guns that have been converted to fire blanks. That's usually your rifles, because they don't really make purpose-built blank guns. And we were using Hollywood blanks, which have a much bigger muzzle flash than a regular rifle would. But they have an added danger, which is that the blank fire adapter that goes in the muzzle doesn't really block all the energy coming out the front like a military adapter would. So those guns you'll see in the videos, we always elevate, is what they call it, if anybody's ever done reenacting. So you always shoot them at the ceiling, the floor, the side. You're never pointing them at somebody directly, just in case something happens. The other kind of gun that we use is a top fire blank gun. A large portion of our pistols are top fire blank guns, and what that allows is that the energy is all directed up and out of the ejection port area. This allows us to get a lot closer to people. If we're doing things like there was a scene during the JTFs this time where we had 2 hostages, and there's some great videos out of that, and we're going to get some behind the scenes videos. It turns out a lot of my guys were setting up cell phones in the corners and catching video of you guys moving in on them. And so you get to see a little bit of it before you get there as they're prepping their hostages and stuff. And so they take, and those guns, you can put them much closer to somebody because the barrel is filled with steel. And as long as you don't point the ejection port towards anybody, there's not danger there. Now, the other style we use is the propane guns. Any of the automatic sounding gunfire you guys heard, we used a lot of those during the day. Those use propane and oxygen and essentially create like an internal combustion engine that creates fire out the end of the barrel. We had an AK and an AR out there this weekend. Those are really fun. I love those because they don't present nearly the danger that a blank gun does, because you can't accidentally load a live round like the Alec Baldwin situation. And the pistols actually, the top power ones, I didn't mention this, but they're not able to chamber a live round. They're designed specifically to only chamber blanks. So you don't have that danger there as well. But the propane guns don't have nearly the energy while still having the front fire muzzle flash and all the fun of an automatic sounding weapon. They don't have the energy coming out the barrel that something else would. So you can be a little bit more cavalier, while certainly not dangerous. We don't get close to each other with those. We still don't point them directly at somebody. They are a little bit more on the safe side as far as like the situation goes. But certainly with the rifles, we have to be very, very careful with those. We only had 4 of those out there this weekend. And during the JTFs, we weren't using all 4 of them. But yeah, it's an overarching thing for the JTF missions. I saw the players succeed most of the time. We had 1 out of 4 groups set off the device that we had. And lucky that bomb maker, that 1 charge did not go. It was an ineffective charge, so too bad for them. But other than that, the players successfully rescued 1 of the hostages twice. So we had the 2 time slots successfully rescued the female hostage we had. Thank you, Sydney. And then the other hostage was executed twice in front of the players and rescued once. The other time he was shot by the players. Which is more common than you think. So the female hostage was shot all 3 times. That she did not make it out alive. She was shot by the players, not by the person holding her hostage. So,
and I want to give I really want to do this real quick. I want to interrupt and give the people what sort of a taste of what it was, because I followed around on the last mission of the night, and this is the beginning of what I saw.
All that sound you guys are hearing is the blank fire muzzle flashes. There's a really intense moment when you're trying to set up the guys. And it's hard to see, but these guys are charging into gunfire. And it is an intense moment. You have to be really there to understand how terrifying that actually is as a player. Especially if you've never been in anything like this. It's horrifying. There's BBs and tracers coming at you. Fire going loud, terrifying. There's blank guns firing alongside of you.
I just love the fire alarms going off, and it's like it's such an aesthetic.
That's one of my favorite things that we add to almost every JTF. And you know what, Dylan, you're welcome. We accidentally left those there, so they're still secured in the buildings.
Oh, great.
Sorry, yeah. So when you start hearing chirping in about 6 months, we'll be back to take it down.
There you go.
So we always like to put some executives in areas where we know there's going to be a lot of fire and stuff. It adds to the stress. So the 3 stressors we were trying to use during this mission were exhaustion. The very first thing these players did was run about 100 yards and get to that door. So now they're tired. We used noise, which is obviously all the blank fire along with the sound of the beeping and all the yelling. And of course, there's Seb back here. And then we used an emotional trigger, which was we had a number of hostages during this, which is a huge stressor when people are actually trying to deal with.
That's when the main bad guy just got shot. By the
way, yeah, he's up here to the left. He's yelling and screaming. I think you're about to get a shot of him. Yeah, they've got him on the ground. Players have just figured out this isn't an airsoft game, and they're trying to get him now to realize they actually have to secure him. Which props to Sebastian. He's really good at this kind of thing. So they're having a quote fight without actually having to punching or hitting each other.
Hey, he was yelling about something when we got in here. Find out what the fuck he was yelling about.
This is something I think also that a lot of players missed during the JTFs was he's yelling when they come in.
He was yelling about. He was stuck in a corner waiting.
He's sending his guys down this hallway. Go arm a bomb. And he starts yelling about it, and people can hear it during the mission. So this is where they're starting to interrogate him and catch that.
Yeah, and there's more. These missions, I have over 22 minutes of video just from the time the first blank fire was essentially fired until you were off. And there was something else that you did that a lot of other events didn't, was that at the very end of it, you did a very quick AAR giving all the people that were there like a breakdown of what you saw that went well, what didn't go well, and stuff like that. So I thought it was really good.
Yeah, we call it Thorns and Roses, but basically after every mission, we try to do here's what I saw that your team did well or did poorly. That way you guys learn as a player from the experience, because the whole point is to pick up something from your leadership skills if you try to do the squad lead, pick up something from what you do if you're stressed as a player, what do you do as a whole, like does your teamwork work well? Because a lot of these groups are not airsoft teams. They're people that are coming in as individuals into a group. And I think in airsoft, you have to learn to immediately function well with others in order to make a combat effective force. So I like to give people the positive and negatives. And then I like to hear the yeses and nos from them to hear what they liked and didn't like so that we make the next one better. And that we make sure that players have the best time possible for what we're doing with them.
I wanted to give you the compliment from Augie from Dark Horse 6. When, Tats said he got a report back. Augie pulled me up to the side and said, he's like, those Echo 4 guys, man, I got to tell you. Like, they put a thing on, man. They really put a thing on. I never, in all the time I've been playing, I never seen nothing like that. And I was like, they're really good. He goes, no, I can tell you, they're fantastic. I never done nothing like that. It's the best thing I ever done in airsoft. So
I will even say something very similar to that and expand upon it. When we originally announced the game, a certain someone who's watching the stream right now sort of got on my case about the fact that we're charging for this mission. I said, look, there's a production value that's being paid for to bring them up here to do this event. And we could only do 40 slots because obviously Skywalker doesn't have 10 hours to work with to do a whole bunch of these. I mean, you can take 10 guys for an hour-long mission. And and even if he could do them, I'm sure him and his team would be tired as hell because I'll put the entire video up on YouTube of what I recorded. This way you guys can see. They made, what was it, 11 guys you had or 12?
We had 13 people total counting myself.
So 13 people seemed like it was 30 because they kept running down hallways. They would die, run away. They would use the tunnels and the tunnels and everything to their advantage to swoop in and get in behind and do all the stuff. They used the AO very effectively to give you guys a high production value for what it was. And even me, who's, I haven't been on a JTF mission before. I was in the back just recording, and I was like, man, I wish I had my gun on me right now. But there was some cool stuff. But yeah, it was I kept telling with multiple videos leading up to this that JTF is nothing like you ever experienced before. If you can get a ticket to try it, and we will be releasing the tickets for Syndicate 2 for JTF relatively soon.
Yeah, I appreciate you guys inviting us back. By the way, Dylan, Joker, Papa, whoever's to make that decision.
Anytime.
Yeah, absolutely. Not only did the JTF mission matter, but also you guys being around as a civilian faction. Since he's here, I'm going to talk to Skywalker about it. He did me dirty. Straight up, he did me dirty.
So, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you know what we're talking about? All right. So,
no,
yeah.
This is funny. I want to tell the story because I think it's funny from my perspective. So, and real quick, I want to touch on what you said. As a shout out to my guys, not to toot my horn because it wasn't me. The guys who were working, there were 11 OPFOR on site that were running around like psychopaths to make sure that the JTFs felt like there were a lot of baddies and civies and everything else. Their instructions basically were stay there, lay dead until the players are in a different area, and then haul your ass to go find a way to get to where you did next. We did 3 dry runs without players trying to figure out paths that they could move fast enough to get to a new location. And the AO does provide that, which is great. Not a lot of AOs do. And it worked out okay, but it wouldn't have worked if these guys didn't haul their ass off. They were all out of breath by the end of it every time. So props to them. But so for those of you that weren't involved, we had a frago where Tan had to come over and get an AT4, and they were going to fire a rocket at this bus. So they run over, they get the AT4, and props to the green guys for getting the shit scared out of them, by the way, because right before the Tan got there, there were about 10 green guys on a wall that had no idea that me and my boys with all the blank guns were hanging out in the building across the street from them. And when we saw the Tan guys, we gave them cover fire and scared the living shit out of a few of those dudes, which was hilarious to me. So the Tan guys come running in. They get the rocket launcher. Funny story, if anybody caught this on video, the guy had the AT4 held backwards. I thought it was kind of funny. If you ever wonder why it says front to the enemy on the side, that's why. Get the rocket out there. We shoot it at the bus. The Tan guys assault the bus.
Before we go that,
yep.
When it happens, I'm not paying close attention to the pole that I'm driving past. And I totally hit, as soon as the boom went off, you notice the entire bus rocked. It's because I hit the foundation for the light pole with the tire, and the tire went up over it, and then I made it look like I crashed into the wall.
So we go running up on the bus. We assault the bus, and anybody here from the Black faction, I just want you to know, you may not get hit by airsoft BBs, but about 10 feet behind you, I shot every one of you coming off that bus with a blank gun. So anyway, these guys run off the bus. They end up cat up in a building. Well, it turns out you make that much noise and everybody wants to know what's going on. So Green and Tan both came running over to kill each other. The Tan guys got shot up and they die off. But one of them makes it out with my civvy guy, Zach. Because Zach basically looks at the green guys and goes, "Hey man, a Tan guy ran that way with a bunch of heroin." And they go, "Where?" And they turn around and he literally runs off with the one Tan guy with an armful of heroin. And they go running off to go back to his base. So that was kind of funny. But Green ends up holding this area. They secure the area, but they don't realize the Joker is down in the corner down there. So I noticed he.
Let me interject this part. So. Getting up to that point, we just screwed over Green hardcore by taking over Echo. And it was part of the element to piss off both sides. I called over the radio to the DDA and said, "Overwatch, you have a helo inbound. It looks like the cartel has hijacked it. take it down. That's when you're supposed to shoot it down. And that effect was awesome. The things going up, people say they saw that. They're like, it looked like you shot the damn thing down because of the explosion off the back. So now I'm on the radio telling Virchew, haha, I took your building, just trying to antagonize him to send more people up, because whoever captured Nikolai, me, and brought them back to the CO scored massive points. However, I had Nicolo with me, who was Aaron from X-Fog. He was a decoy, wearing a very similar looking blue Hawaiian shirt. So we had this thing set up where we were hoping that they were going to take the decoy, run them back and all that. And now you can continue, Skywalker.
So they're down in this building. I walked down just out of play to be like, hey, guys, there wasn't – the guys ran off. Like, they're dead. The guys who knew you were here are dead. Green dudes have no idea. And Joker pokes his head out, makes some noise, and they kind of look at him, but they don't really get that there's something down there, and just kind of hang out at the top. So I yell up to my guy, Zach, or I think it was Tyler. Somebody was up there. And I go, hey, get all the green guys together and bring them to me real quick. And I said, follow me down to the end of the staircase. And you need to do it really freaking quick. So they run down the stairs to me. I get about 16 guys jammed into a room the size of your bathroom. And I go, get in this room. I go, get in the room. They're like, one grenade will kill all of us. I was like, you just have to trust me on this one. It's not a grenade you need to worry about. It's like, just trust me on this one. When I come out here, I'm going to bring some dude in a Hawaiian shirt out here. I want you to grab him and run as fast as you can. And they're like, all right, they're kind of hesitant about it. They think I'm going to kill them all in this room. And I was like, no, it's fine. So I go in, hey, Joker, they're gone. Like, everybody's gone. And one green dude almost blows our cover and just goes running off trying to do his own thing and starts fighting around the back the building. And I was like, yeah, it's the one green guy.
I don't know where he went.
I don't know, dude. I have no idea. He ran around the back. So some guy runs around the back. So I go, Joker, look, they're gone. So he walks outside and he's looking up the staircase. And sure enough, one of his bodyguards had followed him. And I don't have an airsoft gun on me. And my buddy Aaron, who was with me, didn't have an airsoft gun on him either. But he knew what was happening. So he's like, I know he's going to have to kill this guy. So Aaron kind of positions himself in the doorway so that if the black faction decides they're going to start lighting me up, he can eat the rounds. And I look over at the guy, and I make eye contact with him, the guard, and I pop 2 rounds towards his feet, and I look at him, I was like, you're dead now. And I grab the back of Joker's shirt and push him towards the staircase. And about then, I think he figured out what was happening, because all 16 of these green dudes pop out of this tiny room.
One of them shot me in the nipple, the prick.
Yeah. So they grab him and start running, and I start screaming, go, go, go. And about then, me and Aaron get guns up on the door to try to scare the black faction out. That's what's going on. So their one guard standing there with his eyes in the air, just like shaking his head like, oh yeah, boy. And then the one guy comes out just to, see what's going on. What's all the noise about? And we put, I don't know, 16 blank rounds in his position, and he about fell back through the doorway, whoever that was. So while he's doing that, they're getting Joker up the staircase. They finally figure out what's going on. Joker's almost gone.
I'm fighting him. I'm like pushing. I'm not going up willingly. I am like, no, it's not happening. Help me. I'm yelling into my radio. They're taking me. Help, help. So admin channel was dead at that point, because the only thing you hear is me yelling into the radio.
Basically what happened was I saw an opportunity to give the players some entertainment, and we kidnapped Joker for him, threw it to the green team. Now, I'm not a one-sided player. I don't believe in helping one faction. But as soon as they kill all the black guys, all the black faction, we run up and grab Big Juicy, our buddy Seb, and feed him to the tan team. Now, unbeknownst to us, apparently Seb wasn't the most popular person on that team, so the black faction showed up to shoot them himself. That's oops. But each faction got somebody, so we're something.
I want to chime in on that, because that like when the fight to get me up the stairs, these guys were pulling hard. I was not budging. They had me underneath one arm. Another guy was grabbing my leg. I'm sitting there kicking. They get me up to the bus, and I finally said, hold on 1 second. Let me put my gun down so it doesn't get broken.
Hey, I want to point out, one of the guys that was in that room is here. I know you guys I was going to kill you all, but I was just trying to help.
So they put my gun on the bus, right? And then now it's like I'm trying to give them hints that all right, you have to get me to your leader. You know, you have to get me to Virchew because these green guys are doing it. So they pull me into building D, and I'm fighting, I'm stripping, and like digging my heels in. They're about ready to strip me, ripping off my shirt. You know, trying to get me in there. They get me to a chair. And the guy comes up with a flex cups. That's the one time I turned around and said no. And he goes, but I said no. I've seen this video before. It does not end well. So they sat me in a chair. They were going through, and I kept giving the hints of, "Hey, I think your boss wants to talk to me." So like, what do we have to do? What do we have to do? And I was like, I said it like 3 or 4 times, and finally they go, "We got to take it back to CP." I was like, finally somebody caught on. So instead of taking me out the front of D to go down to E and that way, they took me out the side towards C. And there's 3 people that have me. The first 2 walk out the door, pop, pop. They're hit. They go hit. The guy that's now behind me shifts in front of me, and there's another one in the doorway. So I look up, and the stairwell door should have been open. I ran up that flight of stairs, and the guy's like, "Wait, what?" And I grabbed the door, and it's locked. And I was like, "Oh." So he comes upstairs, he grabs me, he goes, "You're not going anywhere." As we're walking down the stairs, he accidentally discharges, hit me in the leg. So, of course, I go down, I slide down the stairs saying, "Oh, I'm dying. Since the second time I got shot, if I get shot a third time, I'm dead, and the mission's a failure. So, and I really did that. I was like, my body can't handle this anymore. If I get shoot one more time, I'm dead. So they take me up to the second floor D, put me in a cell block, and they have 3 guards on me. And one guy is from Outcast was there, and his pistol was in his holster. And they aren't telling me to back up. I'm just standing right there. And finally, I just made the move for it. I looked real close, saw where the button was. I had it halfway out before he put his hand on the gun. I fired, shot him, and then the other 2 tackled me to keep me down. And they went through, and then she goes, "Imagine this door's closed." It's like, there you go. Now you locked me in. So timer's clicking down, and at the end of the timer, I decided that it's time to kill myself and pop a cyanide pill. I was like, "This is a pretty little pill. It's red. Let me swallow it." They crashed out on a thing, and all of a sudden you just hear them go. I hear her go on the radio. I think Nikolai just killed himself. It was totally fun. The immersion level that was there was great. And after I tried to take that thing, the chick that was guarding me did not turn away. She's just like staring me down, and she's just like pissed as hell. And then Seb's was even funnier when they took Seb. So.
Yeah, we got a hold of Seb. That was our own little civvy objective. We're like, we got to get a hold of Sebastian. We were calling him Big Juicy, so we got Big Juicy and drug him out. He's a good sport about it. He's fun. He likes doing the role play stuff with us. So, and we got him over to the Tan faction because we knew he's friends with Bulldog and Weiner, so we figured they'd have some fun with him.
Oh, there she is. I wasn't letting you go nowhere. You are so lucky that he had got his hand down fast enough to stop me from pulling that pistol. Because if I would have cleared it, I would have got you. Because there was hesitation. It really was. I think we brought a unique element. And then you and I, throughout the day, also, Fallon, had a couple incidences where we engaged each other and, had some good fun with sitting out there and doing all that. So I know all the positive things that came out of the JTF missions and having you guys out there doing the pyro. Even though we couldn't really use the flame units, it was still cool.
Yeah, it was a little windy for that, but other than that, we managed to get everything else to go off without too much of a hitch. And I'm hoping next time we'll be able to do some more fragos and add to some of the player experience. But I hope that Nick, if you guys are still on here, I hope that for you guys some of that role play stuff was fun. And I don't know if I think I saw that one of the guys that was with us. Well, I know Antonio's here. Antonio, it was a shit ton of fun talking to you in Spanish and making jokes about how these Northerners don't speak any Spanish. So we could communicate back and forth and talk about tactics and what we were going to do that way. But it was also a good bit of fun bringing your guys in, Antonio, and shooting that bus. That was one of our favorite moments from the Civvy faction for the event for the weekend for sure.
So for those of you that are looking to get on JTF missions, I just posted a link to the tickets. The JTF missions are now live.
Oh, awesome.
So,
all right.
Same thing as before. They're $50.
Now I got to recoup so I can actually write the missions.
Hey, you got 6 months, okay, for the next one.
Goes by quick.
It was a lot of people said that like all the ambiance that was brought to air. Like sometimes people got confused when the black faction, which we'll talk about later, switch sides and when the civvies turn on people. But hey, I warned people multiple times. Unless they're on your side, don't trust them. There's always someone.
And to be very fair, from the civvy faction perspective, I think we had one guy with an airsoft gun and one dude with a knife. And I think they killed a grand total of like 4 people on Saturday. We might have shot at a bunch of you, but we really didn't kill anybody. And we would help,
that was
we'd
the
help
job
people move, because I did notice that if we all started shooting in one direction, everybody would back up. But that was about it. Sunday we had some more airsoft, but still not nearly an effective fighting force.
I do want to thank you guys for coming out. I mean, it was a huge trip up. I mean, I know because I did the same trip. It
turns out in an RV it was about 21 hours, 22 hours of solid drive time, and I don't know about gas stops, but I know how much it costs in gas, and we don't talk about numbers that high.
Well, Fallon, I'd like to thank you for coming on. I really do appreciate you coming on to talk about it a little bit. Obviously, you have some writing to do for the next mission, and
got
also
some sleep to catch up on. I got work tomorrow.
Yeah, no shit, right? So thank you very much for coming on, sir. Appreciate it. Again, everybody, thanks for making this an awesome experience. And I will have that full up sometime, probably tonight or tomorrow. I'll throw it up on there so people can take a look at it.
Real quick, too, before we go, or before you let me go anyway, I want to say a special thank you to the guys out at the Big House Produce for having us out. I know that that it is a little bit of trust to let airsofters into your facility, especially people that have a bunch of pyrotechnic stuff. All of my team loved it. We had a great time going out there, and I'm looking forward to. And I'm blanking on his name because I'm just terrible with names. But we had someone.
Josh.
Was Josh the one who filmed the JTF missions?
Oh no, the guy that filmed. I don't know who that was.
I can't remember, but the guy who filmed the JTF missions filmed them in a 4K gimbal camera on every single time slot with spatial audio, and I am dying to see how that footage came out because it's 360 audio on the setup. So, in any case, I want to say thank you guys. Thank you to the players. Thank you guys for having us out. Thank you, Papa, for bringing up a bunch of equipment. Thank you, Joker, for having us up and thinking of us. And thank you, Antonio, for giving me a little bit of extra fun during the weekend. But I'll catch you guys later.
Don't forget Dylan.
Oh, yeah. Dylan, well, yeah, I'm including Dylan in the Big House Produce.
Central Penn Milsim. Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are awesome. I thank you guys for listening to Joker, too, because I know it takes a lot of trust to look at him and trust everything he's going to say. But especially that you should bring up these dudes.
We're still on the line sometime.
There you go. There you go. Well, I hope that we at least showed you a good enough time that it's worth seeing all the fun stuff that we were able to do, because my guys had a blast, and I hope we were able to add to it later. So.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for coming out.
Thank you, Skywalker.
Yep, I'll catch you guys later.
Yep. All right. So the finish.
Bring your wives next time. Apparently, he's happy to show them a good time. Also,
you couldn't say that before he left.
Come on.
So before I start bringing on the COs here, so we can have the CO brief and all that. Let's see here. I'm just. Saturday was a little bit of a challenge with, I guess, the cold had a lot of people sleeping in. So chrono and registration started a little bit late. For the next time, guys, we will make sure to fix that. But I also will emphasize that's why we have everything open Friday. Try to get there Friday as early as possible so you guys can get your guns chronoed, registration done. So when it comes down to Saturday, we don't have to worry too much about, going through that whole process.
Look at you being all nice. I guess it's my turn to play the other side then. No. Read the timeline and be there on time. The JTF safety brief was supposed to be at a particular time. He made it very clear. The chrono closes at a particular time. It was made very clear. All those kind of things. Read the timelines. Be there on time, and it's your fault if you're not.
I was talking about staff, sir.
I'm talking about everybody. I'm talking about everybody.
I was
Airsofters
talking
are the
about us.
worst.
I was talking about Saturday. We had people come in at the appropriate time at 7:00, and we were not ready. It's something that we're definitely have addressed and worked forward for people that were.
You bent over backwards. Everybody bent over backwards to do the best they could to try to help cater to some folks, including working a chrono after it was closed and after it was dark.
Right.
And that's not something that should happen. These guys need to get there. I know it was cold. I know it was uncomfortable. I know it was far away. I know it was all those things. I was there too. And guys,
Yeah, trust me, we heard.
What's that?
Yeah, I know. We heard.
Yeah, I want. Look, people griped about other events that we've been to, them taking too long and registration, all that kind of stuff. Do what you're supposed to do.
I will say this:
Speed along.
as props, registration and chrono on Friday and Saturday did move pretty fast. I was watching those lines, and we didn't have long lines like we expected. Now, it could be because of all the trickling that we did and the fact that we opened it up at 1:00 instead of 2:00 on Friday. And we did process through, I would say, about half the people on Friday. So there was a lot of
Yeah, we got a pretty good amount processed the day before. I think we had like 70 left to do, 70 or 80 left to do on the day of.
Did you hear? You know what that's from? You hear Modify Max? Like the last day we were selling. Everything's got to go. Papa needs gas money. Everything's got to sell. Papa needs that gas money.
The last
For like
day,
the whole day he was doing that. That was his sales pitch.
there was so much running around and stuff that we had to do. It was pretty good. Wow. Yeah, that's why we emphasize getting there early. Trying to do everything on. There's a couple things that you miss on Friday, which the cold prevented it for this game. I will say, because usually there's a lot more hanging out. There's a lot more, socializing and jabber jawing. The campsites are usually pretty active. But with as cold as it was, that wasn't happening.
No, it was a barren wasteland.
Yeah, and I will say, before we bring this, one of the COs is running late, but you know what? He's been sitting in the background for a little bit. So before you sit there anymore, here comes the man with the hawk, Virchew, who is known for what? What was Green known for? Come on, say it. What's your fucking rally call? There we go.
War crimes.
War crimes.
It's only a war crime if there's witnesses.
Not a war crime the first time.
Let me see here. So, actually, here's something right there. And this is coming from a new guy that's never played airsoft before. His first day, like his first event was this one. After a safety brief, there was still people's guns, not a chrono. Biggest problem I saw was players wanting chrono without glasses last few minutes before the JTF brief. Yeah, I don't know what barn you crawled up into or whatever that you came from when it comes down to chronoing, but everybody knows damn well that you need to have your full CLI Pro when you go to chrono. Period.
Right.
It's just one of those. It's one of those things. 3 hours. That's cute. Yeah, screw you all. My drive is drive is. I didn't have the longest drive. Skywalker and Papa had the longest drive. Only because evidently I speed because I got a ticket for not speeding. Going 89 with the trailer. Bullshit, you fucking asshole. Anyways, but we had the registration and everything pretty much on lock. People were like flowing through. There was a little bit of a bunch up at Chrono, which we'll address for the next time. We're going to move the Chrono in the same spot, but push it out a little bit further. So then that way the stations could be opened up a little bit more so they can move. Other than that, I mean, we might modify how we do safety brief next time. There was a lot of feedback that some people, and it was evident that some people we probably need to do maybe groups of safety brief instead of one large one. Because I don't know if it's just me or maybe it's because I'm a boomer now that I have an issue when safety brief is going on and people are talking, they miss important information. And it also throws off the tone of safety brief. Like we missed talking about one very important aspect of the game, which was the control boxes. We never said how they worked.
At all.
Yeah, all right. To be fair, though, that's not a safety brief thing. That shouldn't be in the safety brief.
No, it's just one of the things that was that we were going to mention because it was not in the printed packet or anything.
Yeah, it would just help because I feel like everybody's there at once. At least run over it a quick 30 seconds.
Yeah, hold it down for 10 seconds. Goes it neutralizes. 10 seconds later, it's your faction.
I have to agree with Papa, though. I don't think that's a safety brief issue because I told the guys how to use it when I sent them on the mission in the first place.
Yeah,
right. You can have a separate meeting, a separate briefing for that. You make sure it's in the paperwork. Any of that safety brief is safety brief. That's it. You govern the rules and outlines, rules and guidelines of everything that's going to happen as soon as they walk through that gate. And we tried to speed it up, and I wasn't very happy that we had to speed it up. I know I tried to get it done as fast because we were cold and wanted to get everybody on the field, get them moving. But next time, I think moving back to old either Doomsday or TCA or small groups, get them run through where you're not rushed, where there is no you're there, captive audience. This is how it's going to be.
Yeah, and I think that's what we have to get back to because there was definitely some stuff that was missed that people didn't hear, and
they're too enthralled by you throwing your jacket off.
Put it in the comments. So I mean, on a whole, hold on one second. God, man.
Did he just go for saying?
I thought I'm a freaking banshee. She's in there screaming her head off. It's like, what the hell? Record the safety meeting and project it on the projector. You mean
no way?
No,
absolutely not.
People pay less attention.
Yeah, no way. Yeah,
because they'll sit there. They'll look at their phones and just go through. The reason why we elevated everybody up on top of the bus to go through from the bus, we can look down and see all the people that are not paying attention, and we can see that and really address it. And then
it was actually so that they could see me.
Well, that too, but
let's be fair. Let's be fair.
That wasn't even
advantage of the elevated platform. I needed it.
I was definitely scanning the crowd when we're going through, and that's why I kept having to yell, "Shut up" all the time. And I feel sorry if I hurt some people's feelings by telling people to shut the F up, but we really had to get through as much as we could. Now, what I'll say was phenomenal is people obeyed the vehicle rules. The vehicle did not get shot at once with BBs. It only got blown up once because everybody was inside. Everybody was inside the buildings hiding from the cold. All right. Do you have anything else to add there, Dylan, from the stuff that you saw and all that?
No, from what I saw, like you said, everybody obeyed the rules. I know last time that was kind of a thing. One of our drivers got shot in the face. Cough, cough. No, everything was great. Virchew, I got to give you props. You were an awesome CEO. Every time I called you, you answered. So thank you for that. I felt Green Team did a really good job relaying over all the objectives. I say that with proof because one of the control boxes, Tan didn't even have any points on it all. It was all green. So yeah, you did a great job. Thank you again.
Dylan, I do got a question, but did you find that everybody respected the AO the way you had hoped? They, as far as keeping it fairly trash free. Nobody went to the bathroom in any of the prison cells or anything like that.
No, half and half. I think we could have done on our side as admins. We could have done a better job putting more trash cans out. We saw a little overflow, so that was definitely our fault. Next time, there's got to be change there for sure. But no broken windows, no. So what? There were some closed doors. I'll say that.
Yeah. I want to deal with this with Matt Saul. I don't understand what the confusion is. If a door is open, leave it alone.
Right.
The rule was don't touch a door.
Yeah, there was some. No, there were some doors. there were some doors that I think maybe one of them got shut because of the JTF mission. The one that you saw in the video where we went up, that was supposed to be open, and I think it did not get shut again. I think wind affected a couple of doors, but there were some doors on the interiors that if they did get messed, look, either it's wind or it's freaking ghosts. But doors were being shut when nobody was on the AO, so I don't blame.
Yeah,
I'm glad
there was
Sim's on right now with me because he'll probably agree with this. You have to have hard, fast rules, though. You say don't touch a door. I don't care if the wind closes it or if it was shut the night
We
before.
did say during the thing, if a door is open, it stays open, period. If a door is shut, try it. It might open. If it opens, you can go through it. But the door, and I also said the doors do not exist. You cannot use them as cover. You can't shut.
I think, honestly, I think for next time, I think that leaves a little bit of gray area, and airsofters love gray area.
It does,
Right.
and there was a disconnect about the rules during the brief. After you stated that, we were talking about grenades, and you mentioned that steel doors counted as cover from grenades, which caused a disconnect.
Well, the reason why I said steel doors cover as grenade is because you have to be through another. There's other rooms that you could be into, and those are steel doors. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Papa, but if a grenade goes off on the other side of one of those doors, is a grenade really penetrating through that?
No, but what you're talking, but at that point, the point we're making is, you tell somebody that, if you're behind a steel door, and a grenade comes in, you survive.
The previous rule when it applies to the doors, you don't touch. You don't
Shut
and close the door.
Hear that. They hear what they want to hear. If you've put two things up and one of them works better for them than the other, they're going to take the one that works better and negate the other.
That's a really good point, actually. Yeah, we should definitely update that as well. That's a great point. That's a great point. You're right.
It's not intent, Joker. Your intent was clear. It's what worked for them at the time. I do know for a fact in building 1 where the gym is, those upper doors that were supposed to be open when we did the walkthrough, I watched the wind come through the building from the other side and slam them. I'm saying wind because I don't believe in ghosts no matter what you say.
That's fine. You don't have to, but you know what? Now you're going to be the one that gets haunted next. I'll take you down to the
send them down to me. I don't mind them.
Yeah, and damn John Logan, when we're going up there because they wanted a tour Thursday night, we go out to Building 7. I show them where the stuff's going to go on, like where the stuff happened. He picks up a rake and starts scraping it behind. I stopped, looked back, and I was like, "You're a jerk." I actually use stronger language. So
I do think we need to find something stronger than caution tape to secure some of those doors.
No, that one was there was something there, and I think it got removed because of the JTF mission. And somebody used caution tape to try to hold it open. It was supposed to be the doors were supposed to be zip tied open, and also door wedges were supposed to be on all the interior doors to keep them open. I did see only one person that I had to correct immediately, grab one of the things and try to kick out the wedge. And I said, and he didn't realize who I was. And I said, "What the hell are you trying to do?" I was like, "Got to get this door shut." I was like, as a door opens, stays open. And he turns around. I was like, he goes, "What?" And I was like, "You want off the AO?" And then he realized who he's talking to, and he's like, I was like, "I swear to God, I catch you shutting the damn door. You're gone. Don't do it again." So there was quite a few out there, but there was a couple of doors, like the one that was in Building 5 that pointed at Building 4. That one was definitely messed with because of the JTF, and I just don't think it got secured properly after that. I don't know what happened to the door on the top part of D block. That would have been the perfect way for me to escape, because if I would have made that run up there, I probably could have got out the front doors without getting caught, and it would have been a baller exercise.
It's because you pissed off your ghost.
They're there. Yeah, I mean, obviously, people that did that, they shouldn't have been. We'll make sure for the next one that any door that can be open is wedged open. We'll get more wedges in place and go through. But at this point in time, I want to jump into the CO debrief, Dylan. So thank you for coming on and talking about this. I'm going to have you jump out if you don't mind, so I could bring Weiner in.
Of course. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on, man.
In person, bud.
I just want to take a second and thank you, Papa, for coming out and doing some awesome vending. Thank you again, Virchew, for being a great CO. And thank you for everybody who attended. I just hope we see you all again. I know it's a long drive for you both, but maybe things will change, in 6 months. Hopefully we'll be able to see you guys come out again.
Yeah, there'll actually be some warmth.
It's been a blast.
Yeah,
April should be warmer.
All right,
Take care.
thanks, guys.
If I said that,
Bye.
it won't. Thanks very much, Dylan. Everybody, Dylan from Central Penn Milsim. Make sure you get your tickets for the next event. It's already
Don't
up
laugh
live.
at that. Sin, don't laugh at that. Sin, don't laugh at that. I'm just saying, I'm warning you, don't laugh at that.
I was coughing.
I was wondering what the hell
Uh-huh.
he was laughing at, and then, of course, we saw it.
So, a lot of people know this. A lot of people know this. Maybe not everybody. Certainly, Mr. Stillwell is unaware. I don't care what it takes to win, and I love issuing bounties. And airsofters are all whores. They'll take anything as a reward for a bounty. If I decide to, and I put a bounty, I've had Joker's own team turn on him.
They did. The little son of a bitch. He tried to get his team to do bounties on me.
These are people that have known him for years, loyal to him. They'll turn on a heartbeat, just turn on a dime.
You know what the power of that was? That's the power of the D-hop, you dirty prick.
Let's be real. I'd shoot Joker for a Twix.
You're an ass. All right, Dylan. Thank you very much for really bringing Weiner.
Take care, Dylan.
He's been holding something up for a while. You have a good one, bud. We'll be talking soon.
You too. Oh, yeah. See ya.
Bye.
All right. And here he is.
Steel
the man with the Weiner, and it's only a Weiner until it's only a party until the Weiner comes out. A Weiner, Rob Weiner from A.T.E Airsoft or Apocalypse Tactical Events. Rob Weiner, how you doing? EXO of the CAN team. All right, guys.
By the way, Augie's on the stream now, and I didn't realize he wasn't on before. He missed my impersonation of him.
Yeah,
you missed it. I heard it.
Good. I didn't say bro enough though. That's the only thing I didn't.
No, you say bro.
I realized it after the
fact. All right,
I have to have a bad cold or bad sinus infection to sound like Augie.
So now we're gonna start going to some meat and potatoes, and we're gonna start addressing.
Oh crap! I'm leaving. Oh.
It's not my meat.
Excuse the mess. My man cave behind me. Sorry. Still in the process getting ready to move into a new house. I mean, built yet.
He takes we're getting on.
We're getting on.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. Thank you very much. I had 5 pills.
Oh God.
But do you take your Viagra for getting? Never mind.
I don't need the Viagra. Weiner don't have a problem with Viagra.
Augie, I love you more.
Okay, so let's talk about game start. Now, here's one thing where we sort of failed everything.
It sucked.
We failed the player. You shut the hell up.
Game start.
Well, game start. Yeah, no, he's not wrong. Game start. I mean, we can always end on a high note, but he's not wrong.
Game start. There was a miscommunication between the admins and myself. I said I was going down to the basement.
No, never.
Shut up. One of the first missions to happen was to capture the down pilot, and the idea behind that is whatever team got it was able to secure the battle bus for a pretty a drop onto what we knew was a mission that should have been behind enemy lines to go through and do it. So it's a pretty big advantage. Plus, it's scoring points. When I radioed game on, because I was looking at the timer because we were setting in position, Colin could hear me up at Building 7 because he was there where we pre-inserted TAN. That was the DEA field office that had all vital information. The cartel knew that the DEA office was there. They wanted to go and take down that DEA office, get the intel so they could start messing with DEA. That was like the first 2 missions that were going on simultaneously. And when I said game on, there was a definite lack in communication that the 2 admin, that there should have been an admin at each spawn or at each where they started at, where the start X happened for each team. And then they stayed at the spawn in order to relay back tally points and stuff like that. So for those of you that were upset about the fact that green got a 10 to 15 minute head start on tan, we apologize. We did try to adjust after that. We definitely got admins on each side to those CPs so that it will not happen. And for the next game, it will not happen again. It did not happen the rest of the thing except for Sunday when the radios died. But at least at the start,
the Chargers.
No, that was not the case. It wasn't that we forgot the chargers because the charger's in my truck. The fact is that I was having a problem with the goddamn RV, which I'll get to later with housing. So Papa could bitch about the hotel and I could bitch about the RV.
What? No
Are you
backup
done yet?
plan? Huh?
It was a big head start.
Big head start.
And it definitely, and it wasn't, the head start could easily been adjusted by giving more missions to Tan to give him ability to score more points and then blowing up buildings and everything else to adjust it. But it wasn't just that. When something like that happens, as an admin and as a person that's in charge and everything else, we have to work faster next time to make sure that the morale does not get sapped. Because with the weather the way it was, people are already agitated, standing out in the cold for 10 minutes too longer than they needed to. And next thing you know, they go in
inside the buildings, keeping body warmth.
And they were, and then Green was already embedded in.
Jason Tom needs a wiener.
What I would really say is, I'll give Virchew a massive amount of credit here. As soon as I came out and told him, "Hey, I need you to pull back," he pulled everybody back off the spot that he was at, because they were about 5 minutes away from charging down the aisle to come for the down pilot. That was kind of cool that he pulled everybody back and everything else. So once the game started going, there was a second issue that came up that is going to be addressed for the next time, which is each CO is going to have a dedicated radio channel that admins will talk to them on and issuing them missions. It was my fault, and also a little bit on Tan CO's part, that we didn't have a radio channel together. We were not on the same team. The admins did not have a radio channel with Tan.
We didn't have a radio period from you or an admin in our poll. Don't blame that on us. Don't blame my
Virchew
CO.
got the radio channel.
That was you. You aren't you not the event organizer? No. It was not us.
I'm not going to defend Joker or take sides, but when we had a little powwow, he did say that we need to have somebody on the admin channel. That was said, so I set up one of my channels as admin channel, and I had a player designated as RTO to handle everything else. As soon as he said that at the meeting, I turned around and reset my radio. I don't know if it wasn't heard by anybody else.
Nope.
And I'm not defending him because it's
I understand. Hey, look, you were awesome. I have nothing. My complaints are all with Bulldog. Jeez.
Oh, geez. Oh, wow. There we go. I'm
Mark.
flipping that shit, and I'm going to keep replaying it over and over.
I'm going to sound that.
Is Bulldog here anywhere?
I'm saying I take responsibility that I did not make sure it was clear that you had the radio and a radio.
You did take responsibility. That is correct.
I have taken responsibility. At the same time, there's a little bit of responsibility.
My Tan forces you pulled it together and got out there and helped kick ass.
Speaking of which, there is Matthew Speakman was my RTO. Thank you for running that, buddy.
Good job,
Matthew. I couldn't have done it without you.
All right, so we're gonna go phase by phase here, like Evo by Evo, and talk about the stuff that we saw and the things that I think went well and what didn't. I'm gonna give each guy a chance to go through. But before we get going, I just want to talk about that down pilot mission.
One we never saw.
Yes, you never saw it. Thank you, Weiner, for
pointing
saying
that out.
Captain Obvious.
Pointing out the obvious.
It's not my fault. Well, look, I will tell you this: I antagonized a hell of a lot of Tan, and I saw them coming for me. Because I went out there when I told Virchew to pull off, I went out there and pulled them into building 5/6, and they started coming. So I went running through. I actually walked past Virchew. I was like, "Where's my exit? Where's my entrance? Oh, here's my entrance. I'll go this way." So Tan did come in and start engaging a little bit, but when I was in there,
I don't know how Weiner didn't hear about it, because when I pulled my guys back, there was Tan coming in the other side, and they just kind of ignored it.
We were sending them to that building. We had a pre-inserted forces in one of the buildings, so they were calling for help. So we sent them straight to there. So they probably ran right through where we were at, not even knowing they had to go after a down pilot.
So here, I'm going to go ahead and show this. This was the first mission, which was down pilot, and it was really funny because I was able to bribe a green guy to fight for me after I mediced him.
You'll not get me! You'll not... You'll never get me alive!
This was the same place I was last time. It's such an awesome place to be in. Especially because you had that office with the 2 windows so you could actually see all the way through and watch the door.
Damn, you're breathing hard again.
What's that?
So damn, you're breathing hard again.
Hey, look. You know what, Steve? You can kiss my ass.
You have to start carrying a bottle of oxygen around like.
You'll not get me alive.
Yes.
Role play.
I
don't have it.
Absolutely best video, hands down, #1 video.
I'm going to sleep. I think
I told them where you were probably hiding.
in a second.
That's Dylan trying to radio over to me. So that's like the breakingness of the.
Yeah, that's why you should be playing. You should be on the radio.
I was doing what I was supposed to do, which was down pilot, and there was something
You
else.
shouldn't have been the down pilot.
Yes, I should have. When I'm the one that set it up, because I'm the only one that can drive the bus.
Wait. You were the actual down pilot?
Yeah. We called it the down pilot mission, but it was a way to. It was to go in there to.
Okay.
Christian, I wish we could show it. I don't have camera. That was awesome, though. We had fun.
The Sebastian resistant capture. Yeah, we already showed it, Augie. I'll put that entire video up later.
You'll not take Nikolai alive. Hit!
Nikolai alive! Nikolai, do you mind saying to the back of us?
Nikolai doesn't follow any rules.
Just now killed Nikolai!
You can't manhandle me.
Oh my god.
I encouraged him to hold me back and everything else. I didn't get so there was a big problem that I had with getting this going. Today was such a big idea. I did not get a chance to edit all the video, and plus the GoPros got sapped, so I don't have a whole lot of video from the event, which is a damn shame. And before people start ragging on me, well, aren't you a content creator? Shouldn't you figured it out? We tried. The batteries were just dying faster than they needed to. So after that, shut the fuck up, Steve. I don't need to hear your shit right now.
Go get him, Steve.
Wow. Way to be sensitive, man.
I did. Look, I know I don't do accents that well. It worked. It was in play. It happened. It just whatever. He's a salt. You know what it is? He's a salty because he couldn't go. You want to talk about my breathing bad? Man, imagine him if he would have been in there.
Tinker would have would have been a better down pilot. His accent's for real.
Chat, man.
Actually, Tinker was an HVT. He just never got captured, unlike somebody else that got captured.
Get him, Aaron.
You take his prenatals today. We'll get to that at the very last part of this when we go through the last portion. But yeah, so again, when it comes down to setting things up and making sure things go, there was a list of stuff that we had. Some of it did not get followed, which affected the beginning part of gameplay. But after that, I was pretty much up top, driving around, giving fragos, giving orders, giving missions to the two sides to go up there, and doing a lot of interaction. So Virchew heard and got all of his missions because he would reply back. So, but going back to the first part of it, the things that I saw was that green was an aggressive force that just kept steamrolling across like the lower part of the map, especially up into building 5 and 6. Tan seemed hesitant at times to breach into the buildings. We were up in the second floor, and there was another hostage situation going on, and Tan refused to come up no matter how much we prodded. And then as I'm on my radio, the battery falls out and falls down because I was hanging out of a window, and they ran.
So that's a good point. From the outside perspective, it definitely saw that, and the points reflected that. Weiner, whether from you or from Bulldog or from the command structure as a whole, what do you feel added to that? Why do you think that happened?
Why they stalled? New players.
Why there was so much? Why Green felt as if they were more aggressive? Was it
Green seemed like they're more like you had most of your team. They're all are familiar with Milsim events. I would say about 80% of everybody was there was probably brand new to Milsim. Or regular, just going to little airsoft things back and forth.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong though; these guys were phenomenal. They loved every minute of it. They want to come back and play again. The ones who stuck around, the ones who left couldn't handle the cold, things like that. But they also didn't talk to me before they left.
I think that portion hurt you very much during the second Evo.
It did, but all in all, granted, I mean, Green was a dominating force. I have no problem with that. And I'm not going to make any excuses. I just want to say that the tan people who stuck around played and had fun. The firefights were awesome. They had a great time. They were awesome people to talk to. And they reported back. They brought the props back when I asked them to. They got to do whatever objective they wanted to, whether lead the way they wanted to. But I gave them the orders of where to go and what to pick up, what to get, things to look out for. As far as HVTs, I said we pointed out who the XO and who the COs were. So
and by the way, I meant to show
they
this
never
earlier.
got a chance to because it was a pretty good opposing force.
That's a sexy group of people right there.
Everybody that stayed.
Yeah. That was a sexy group of people for that the start of that second Evo. So these were the people that hung out past the cold and all that. And I do think to piggyback off what you're saying about the people that left, you lost a lot of experienced players at the start of the second Evo because a lot of them said, I can't take the cold, I'm leaving.
Yeah, here in Ohio, we call that the cry mentality.
That would be
I don't
false.
want to damage my cry.
Thank you very much. Mr. Stillwell, take your mini guns and shove them up your ass.
We're gonna address one of the reasons why Weiner was off the field in just a minute. We're gonna get to that.
So, Sin, do you agree with that though? That you feel like you had more experienced players on Green? One
of the things I did in the Facebook group and on my Discord channel before the event even started was I took new players and I paired them up with experienced players. And they talked on my Discord channel. They talked on Facebook with each other so that when we actually hit the field for the event, they somewhat knew each other. And one of the things I always did is in a judgment of anybody else's leadership styles, I led from the front. If I saw a group of new players standing around, I would grab some of the experienced players, throw them in them, give them a target, and make them push. Outcasts, Immortals, and some of the other teams I had on me that were experienced, their number one job was to grab newbies and push them towards the objective. I told them repeatedly, if I'm in front of you, you are wrong. Keep moving.
Yep.
And I would say, because I came up behind, especially on Sunday, I was escorting a couple people around the AO, and one of them, Ashley, I think her name was, right?
Mm-hmm.
She was going to be a hostage that they had to go rescue, that team had to rescue. We came up behind Colonel Bling Bling and Tinker in the basement with these guys were all new that were around him. And he's like, push, push, push. And they go, what? So then Tinker would lead by example and just go running down the hall with the expectation. And it was like, there was that click that happened and go, oh, that. And I literally watched them take out Dark Horse 6, which was funny as hell to watch because of the interaction that happened in that basement. It was really good play that happened. I'm not saying that Dark Horse 6 was slacking by any means. The firefight was intense. But that was one of the things of that I tried to tell my guys to do as well is, hey, teach these people what to do. Show them by example if you have to. So, but I think that was like one offset. There was definitely a morale issue that, again, was caused by the stuff in the front, which is not going to happen next time. I can guarantee that.
The reason why I asked the both of you that is not so much either to call out. I mean, it's twofold. One, there is purpose behind everything. There's reason behind everything. So, if that was the case, absolutely. But also, again, like I try to do this at every AAR, anybody that's watching, that's thinking about taking that next step in Milsim, moving up, taking command position, right there, we just heard two different things. I'm Weiner, I don't know if you actually had the time or energy or ability to get on Facebook groups, get with your folks.
Let me defend that. Well, defend myself.
No, I'm asking. I didn't know if you had.
No, I did not. When I got the roster for the tan side, actually, I got the whole roster the Wednesday night before the event, and I had enough time to go through and divide them up. The tan and green, and actually, I sent because I found his email and the thing. I didn't even know who the CO was until I met him. I've seen him before, but all my players were all newbies to me, new faces to me, new teams to me. I didn't know who was experienced. I could tell by the groups, and that's why I grouped them before we walked up. Bulldog took all the teams, put them all together, and then they grabbed a couple of newbies and things like that. But that's what we had.
Actually, you got your roster a day before I did. Joker.
Yeah, but see, you knew a lot of the teams that were coming to this event. I didn't know any.
No, I didn't. I only knew the one team. I only need the one team I brought, and I researched the other team.
Yeah, that's right. You guys. Gotcha.
I only knew Outcast.
Let me address the roster situation because the roster did fall on my
Joker. Before you do that, let me finish my original statement real quick. The one thing I did notice as far as pushing objectives between teams was Tan really kept looking for the firefight, and they didn't stick on objectives. There's repeated times where they would go in, take an objective, and immediately leave and leave nobody to guard it. And my guys would come in behind it, and I told them, I was like, expect resistance. They're like, there's nobody here. What do you want us to do? And I'm like, have a cigarette break. Watch the box.
So when it comes down to the roster, there's a couple of things that happened that shouldn't have, and that again, and I'll take responsibility for it because somebody that's organizing an event, if you pass blame and you pass the buck, then you don't take responsibility for your hand or action in it. I think shows a sign of poor character. So I'll take the hit for it. It was my fault. I had made 5 different rosters over the course of the previous 5 weeks and never sent a single one out. It was each time I went to, something else came up that I forgot to send out the roster, which won't happen in the future. Each time we create a roster, it's immediately going to be sent out to the CO, so we don't have this this issue going up. Also, communication to encourage the stuff that happened between the two the faction groups to encourage people to go there. It's up to the responsibility of the COs, XOs, and all that, and the people that are in those faction groups to obviously drive their planning groups. But we have to drive the people to the planning groups to get people there. So, yeah, Augie, we'll go over Order 66 in a minute. And when the roster went out, as soon as Weiner got it, he gave me so much shit for one name in particular because he didn't realize what the name was for, even though I said multiple times and had to call him and say, knock it the fuck off. I don't need this shit right now. I'm already my stress level is up to here. I'm tired as fuck. Sin got an Op 4 ticket because that's before I told him to get cartel. I said grab the Op 4 ticket because that's how we're attracting.
Did you tell me that? You didn't tell me that until after I gave you shit about it. So
I did tell you that.
Not until after you gave me shit for. Until after I gave you shit for.
And anyways,
the roster
I had the roster correct with who was supposed to be on cartel, like Yordi and Tinker were supposed to be on cartel, and had it gotten closer to the time when I realized the player imbalance, I would have switched at least Tinker.
All of it could have been corrected if I'd gotten the roster 3-4 weeks ago.
So to my point,
people in chat
what I was trying to get at,
we didn't even get a chat.
This was something new for some of you, something brand new for some of you. Some of the players were brand new, completely unfamiliar with anything. So this was an incredible learning experience.
Yep.
I apologize. I should have started off by saying this was not the point and blame game. What I'm trying to do is help teach, help show others.
I'm taking responsibility. Don't point at me, fuckers.
Shut up.
I'm done. These two.
Shut. Right there. See that? Put your lips there. Right there. Stop talking for a minute.
You gotta go like that.
You have done enough talking about how great and wonderful you are.
How great he is.
Okay. You
I just said I was a failure.
For something, and that's great of you also. That's great of you also. Thank you for taking the time to do it. There you go. Perfect. Now we can get on with it. So the idea was this. Joker, for you and Dylan, basically this was your first real major. This was your first event. The size of the event is it's daunting. It absolutely is. Taking on a command role is daunting. It's not an easy thing. People are like, well, I could lead better than this person or that person. And then when the time comes, whether you get the roster in time or you get it the day after the event, doesn't really matter. You do what you can with what you've got. And that was the whole reason why I asked, because Weiner, this is not the first time you've been in command. And Sin's not the first time you've been in command either. You guys have different styles, different strategies. Things go many different ways. adaptation is key in something like this. So again, to the guys that are watching this and doing whatever they, if they've just been playing, they just started, they want to see where it's going to go. They've been playing for years and they're wanting to take command leadership, or somebody wanting to start their own event promotions. Any one of those things. This is a lesson learned. This is take away the pieces that worked, throw away the ones that didn't, and realize what you did, what you need to do.
Yeah, it's going through with the stuff that's there. I'm going to accept responsibility for the things that I could have done to make things better for the event. And it's a promise and dedication to the player base that I state that this won't happen for the next one. So if this was a concern that you guys had, especially you, Weiner, you had a valid concern, and it was a valid thing that you guys didn't have a roster. In the future, we're going to be using those planning boards a hell of a lot more. So that way,
Thanks, Antonio.
We'll be able to push stuff up and forward. So going on to the first thing that I really need to address is when we had our first real blind man, which was the person that was downed. What we need from everybody is if there's a blind man that goes down, especially if you need near an admin, you need to radio what building it's in, and it would be great if we know a condition. Like, is it do we need to call EMS, for example? When we had the blind man, there was an issue. It was a person went down, had a seizure, and I'm going to say what else was mentioned, and that's going to be something that's going to be strong for the AO. But we need communication, especially to clear things up. There was a lot of people that were still moving during the blind man, where I got out of the bus and started yelling. I stayed put because I had a bus full of people, and I didn't know where it was. So communication is key. I think everybody here would agree with that. That especially if you're on admin comms, that you know where it is in case we had to go. Because Weiner is an EMT. Now, does that mean that Weiner should be getting every single call for everybody that's injured? No, we just need accurate assessments what's there. One of the things that was concerning was one of the causing effect things was the gentleman had an edible before going out to the field. I'm sorry that you're in the hospital and everything else, but if you go to if I catch somebody on my field again, my AO, my event, eating an edible, then going on my field, don't come to my fucking events anymore. I'm saying this with all seriousness and all firmness. It could have been a serious issue that could have caused massive detriment to the organization, the facility, which we could have lost the facility for Airsoft, and it could cause unnecessary mental stress and anguish if something more serious would have happened. So for everybody that's here, if you want to do stuff, do it on the time when you're not on the field with an airsoft gun in your hand. Does anybody think that I am in the wrong with this harsh statement on that? You should not be intoxicated on the field, period.
I don't know what would possess somebody to do it. I've run events, and people get to smoking after the event's over. Not that I approve of that, but at the very least, if that's what you feel you need to do, smoke or drink, don't do it on the AO for obvious reasons. But at the very least, wait until it's over. If you absolutely have to do it, then maybe you have a bigger issue and you shouldn't be playing airsoft. You should be somewhere else. But I'm not opposed to any of it. I may not do it, but going into something where danger is involved, you should have your wits about you.
And I want to make people pretty clear. If you guys notice, 90% of the time I got a smile on my face. I'm not smiling right now. This is not a joke. It's not funny. The situation definitely caused some anxieties go up, and it caused undue stress on staff to the point where there was some harsh things that were said behind closed doors because of the way the protocol was in, because we didn't realize how bad the situation was. As far as I'm aware, that person's still in the hospital. I don't ever want that at an event ever again. So this is like where I'm going to end the seriousness of it. But guys, don't make me be that guy. I don't want to be that guy. I don't want to have that. I don't want it to be the jerk that comes down and say, stay the fuck away from my events. I don't want you here. Don't come to a Central Penn event. Don't come to the big house. Don't even play airsoft with me, because that's sort of like the stance I'm at of something like that happen. Because I can understand if you slip, fall, break your leg. Cool, that's not your fault. Or like how Augie did, which put his foot through a freaking hole in the ground. That accidents like that happen, or Weiner falling and breaking his leg at GTI. That stuff is beyond your control. But you made a conscious effort to take a mind-altering substance and then walk onto the AO, an AO that could be potentially extremely dangerous. It's not a joke; it's serious. So.
I'll own up to something I said about this. I called the guy an asshole, and I stand by that statement. It may be harsh, but any point in time where you're stepping into an event where you put other people's safety into your hands, because when we go out these AOs and we're playing airsoft, I'm putting other people's safety in my hands. My actions affect them and their safety. And to do something that may impair my reactions or my ability to control the environment is fucking selfish. And I that's like, seriously, why? That's like getting drunk and driving your car. That's a stupid thing to do. It's not to the extreme, but it could have been. That gentleman literally risked other people because he wanted to have a good time.
And the vomit inside of the vendor area didn't help either. And what also it did was it took one of our command staff off the field because Weiner had to go deal with the medical emergency and get him off the field. So he had to get him off the field, take him down to Building 2. Paramedics were called. He was taken away. It was serious. And then Weiner got captured. So moving forward, guys, keep that shit to the parking lot. Don't bring it on my field. I don't want to have to sit there and say, okay, in addition to inspecting iPro, dead lights, dead rags, and your medical card and your proof that you went to safety brief, let's see your eyes real quick and make sure you're not high.
I mean, honestly, don't take it to anybody's AO, not just this event. Don't do that anywhere.
Nope.
Long story short, light bulb.
It can take us away from a serious injury.
Yeah, it could. So, with that being now that's said, that's out of the way. We'll try to get back to making this lighthearted and everything else. So Weiner did get captured. That one did not award Green any points because he was not in play yet. But Weiner did get himself captured a few times.
Twice.
One of the things that we're going to do moving forward for you guys, because that was one of the things that that came through as a sort of like feedback that they didn't know who the HVTs were. Moving forward for the next event, we're going to do something with armbands that signify these people as HVTs, so you can capture them.
Pass out printouts, like sheets.
There'll be that, but sometimes it's kind of hard to see people's faces in their gear and their mask and all that. So
yes,
in addition to that, what?
Medic cards.
Yeah, medic cards or something like that. And also, I'd like to interject.
Yeah, I was looking for a medic card on it. Didn't have one. Yep.
For COs, because if they get taken out of play, it does affect other things because they're still admin. Was we issued a deck of cards to them, so if they got captured, the player would get a card. The CO would go respond.
We are going to be doing that. We're actually in the process right now of getting a whole bunch of cards made up that actually say like cartel and DEA. So
let's sit right on that until a little bit. Because I think it's a good idea to think about what we can add to the next one. But let's save that towards the end. No, I'm just saying that we can add it all together. That way we can write it all down. But unless you're done talking about the actual gameplay. Yeah. No.
So Evo 1 ended with some pretty epic. I mean, I think for almost every Evo, there's some pretty epic firefights. The people were definitely kept busy and everything else. I think there was only really like one or two instances where players were shooting into spawn, which wasn't supposed to happen.
Yeah, it wasn't a lot. It was just the guys who did it realized it right away, apologized, stopped, and backed off.
Yeah,
there was nothing. I didn't have it. There was one time I walked around the corner, there was a guy there, and then they continued around the corner, not realizing where they were. And two of the guys around. So yeah, but no, everybody who did that didn't do it on purpose.
Yeah, I will say that the final mission for the first Evo was to get the bomb over to close to Tan CP as possible. And while there was some confusion on how to actually move it, which is pick up and go, that bomb got over to Building 4, which was close. close, scored some decent points. That was a pretty big blow up of Building 4 there, and that was pretty impressive. But when we talk, that was like a really good way to end that one. Green was on a high. We started the second Evo. We did our quick safety brief and talked like a updated brief, got each guys to their CPs. At least at that point, we already had the admins in place ready to go. So how did you guys feel this? Let's start with you, Virchew, this time. How did you feel the start of the second Evo went?
There's a video about the first Evo. You're not going to show that?
Oh, what?
I sent you a video from the first Evo.
Oh no, sorry, I didn't.
Yeah,
I have that muted, and so not you, but I have that whole thing muted. Yes, let me go ahead and pull this up real quick.
Yeah, that bomb run proved that insane plans work, even though my entire team stared at me like I was crazy. Put 5 guys in the one building, made myself in plain sight. Tan kept pushing the building. They finally get in there and they realize there's just 5 guys. Is the entire rest of my team was moving the bomb.
Was this from the first? Was this from the first Evo? I see Weiner captured.
Yeah, Weiner's captured. That's the first Evo.
Oh, is that this when they got me through the door? Or wait,
oh yeah, you're gonna want to blow this up.
Look.
I was trying to block the door.
Peek out. I see you right there. Hey, don't shoot him. I'm standing in the doorway. He's standing in the doorway. This is bad. I got your XO right here. You see him? Yeah, what are you talking about? He's 10 right here. Right there. That's Weiner right there. That's your XO. Say something again, officer. They have him. Are you not listening to the DEA and your dipshit KNDE outfit? We have Officer Weiner. Give me something. Kill the Weiner. No. Let's put it out. We're gonna pop your fucking Weiner and you're gonna shoot something. We're gonna play Weiner off like something. Yes, you're so cold. I'm not finished with that guy. Jerry, okay. Aquí está Weiner, soy coronel de Inglés, dame una misión de lo más ahora. Again, sucia perra, dame una misión de algo. Give us something and you
Give us something and you'll get your Weiner.
Standing up again. Yeah, here it comes. Here it comes.
They're still shooting him.
Yeah, they weren't shooting me at that point. I felt like 5 shots in the back of my head. I still got my X-Fog. I still got the knots.
Okay, so that was the first Evo then. Because Weiner did get captured again, and I think Weiner just kept enjoying getting captured because he always was captured by Green, especially Sunday.
Well, the firefight on Sunday's firefight, that was the best one when Tinker got me, because there was me and another guy were pinned down behind a dumpster, but we were taking out the Green left and right as they're trying to move up and press around the corner, and the guy got hit. He went down. He got was medicing him. When all of a sudden, this swarm of Green just showed up around me, and then of course Tinker realized it was me and said, "Get him!" And I was like, "Oh crap!" so I never officially got killed at that point. So I wasn't dead when Antonio thought I was dead. I got medics. So no,
that was probably the funniest comms call we had.
Everybody evidently loved JTF so much that there's already 3 JTF tickets that have been purchased. So good job, guys.
Cool.
And those only went live after I brought F. Allen on. Yeah, Weiner looks like he's sliding into home plate.
Good idea when I went.
Everybody
thought I got hurt. I said, no, I was just playing a role. Shit, they shot me.
Oh man!
So then then my guys over left drugged me out around the corner and medic me.
There was one thing that happened inside the first emo. And then after I talk about this, we're going to take a quick intermission. We're going to go take a break, get some drinks and all that. I'll try to throw up that video of the JTF mission while we go out. Because I don't know about anybody else, but I got to go to the bathroom. We needed building 7 clear for the next mission, and there was like Green going. I think Green or Tam was in there, and I sent in. I sent in Op 4, and when I sent in Op 4, I told him I was like, look, when I say execute Order 66, kill everybody in the building. And it was just so I could clear out all the green that were there because it was a mission for tan. And Op4 was going to hold that position. They weren't going to let tan in easily either. And I can't wait to see the video because evidently there's video of it. Augie just got done asking for a cigarette from this one dude on green. And over the radio, execute order 66. And they fucking slaughtered everybody. I mean, everybody. And it's like, aw. But but then Tan went in and went for their mission to get the stuff that was there. They secured their mission. I believe it was a hard drive. It was a hard drive they got and ran it back to the CP and was able to get that done. And it was a hard fight to get Dark Horse 6 out of there. So I think one good grenade took out a couple of guys. So that was pretty awesome. All right. So right now we're gonna go ahead and take an intermission here. I'm gonna leave this up. It's well, you guys okay with doing like a quick 2.5 minute intermission, or do you need longer? All right. Intermission, 2.5 minutes. Let me get this up here. Blump. Share my audio. There we go. All right. Bye.
Let's go! Clear it out! Clear the threshold! Go! Come on, Ramsey! Stay with me! Fuck! Skywalker, Ramsey's down! Ramsey's down, copies! Hey, someone's gonna act like this. Yo, we got our HVT up here, let's go! You got him? Got it! Let's hold here, we got too many hallways ahead. Secure his ass before we move. Copy that. Don't let us harm him. He was yelling about fuck all of you! Fuck these pieces of shit! Fuck him up! Hey, get him secured! Sit down! Get down, you dirt table! Fuck! Get his thing! Get the fucking cuffs on him! Cuffs! Get some cuffs on him! Get some real fuck! Watch this hallway, watch these doors, don't move from here. Get cuffs. Fuck you, Joe! Get him cuffed! Get him cuffed if you need to. No! No! Oh, we don't do this hard way. No! No! Fuck you, you piece of shit! Fuck you!
Language.
That's it. Alright, hey, he was yelling about something when we got in here. Find out what the fuck he was yelling about. Fuck you! Oh. Alright, you secure. I fucking don't like this. Find out what the fuck he was yelling about. We're stuck in a corner waiting.
You don't start talking about
Someone watching our 6. We got Rex back there. Rex, is there any...
I know how to do intermission next time. I was actually spending time doing some stuff. I figured it out. I can just do a video and put it on there. When it ends, everybody comes back up. So I don't have to do that whole weird clipping things in. Yay, technical stuff. All right. So Evo 2, going back to that. Can I move on to Evo 2 now, Papa?
But you can do whatever you want as long as it's the right thing.
So again, starting with Virchew, how do you think the start of Evo 2 was for Green?
Honestly, Evo 2 started off on the Green side a bit odd. I had to wait for a bunch of people to catch up. We need a better way of signaling that we're starting. But it was a good push on the green side. I mean, we moved in. Tan put up a hell of a fight trying to hold on to what they had. I think they all hustled up quick as soon as we started because we were half expecting them to do what they did last time and take their time. But once we started hitting buildings, they were all over the damn place.
Weiner?
Yeah, well, even we knew when the starting when it was supposed to start. We actually heard it over the radio. So our guys took off. They all had what the missions, what they were supposed to go do, and went and headed the direction they were supposed to go. Whether they completed that, I know they brought a lot more props back this time because I did stress about bringing the props and checking for timers and control boxes and things like that. So the start of Evo 2 was much better than the start of Evo 1.
Yeah, Evo 2 started off with a laptop relay race on Tan side, which was absolutely hilarious. One of their guys grabbed the laptop, starts running. I said, shoot that man. Everybody lights him up. He goes down. Another Tan guy no idea where the hell he came from. Jumps out of a bush, grabs the laptop, starts hauling ass. He drops his gun. My guys looked at me, and I went, keep shooting. He drops it, slides on the ground. The laptop goes flying. Another Tan guy comes up the berm, grabs it, and takes off into a building. They look back.
I'm so glad I brought broken.
No, they earned that laptop.
I'm so glad I brought broken laptops for that. That's actually a really good idea, but I got to find out what the firework laws are in Pennsylvania before I bring a firework to start the game. Because I could always just go to Neptune and just buy like a mortar and just be like.
Show up with the flares and the flashes and all that stuff and the stuff Alex wants, so you're probably fine.
What I saw from on the second Evo was there was a lot of that's when Tan lost a lot of I would say a good amount of like experienced players because you guys had a significant number difference. That's why the civilians and Op4 started working more for Tan than they did for Green. And going through that's when the second Evo for me was probably the best of the weekend because that whole thing that we did with trying to piss off the Green by taking over E, which I'll give the kid credit that I was there. He knew I was up to something. He just couldn't figure out what I was up to. And he knew Op4 was up to something. But then we walked into E, strolled in like we owned the place. We set up, got in a position, and then we just killed everybody and flipped the switch. We turned it neutral for the control box. And then I started mocking Virchew over the admin channel. It's like, haha, I got your boxes. I got your boxes.
Yeah, I have to point out, you guys did leave one survivor in a cell without paying attention to him.
He was smart. He didn't engage us. Because at that point, and really, part of it too was to keep some guys active because there was a problem up at Building 7. The whole thing with the bus and all that it was a staged thing, but Tan had to get that rocket launcher in order for it to work. So I wasn't going to be driving around the AO with an active explosive on top of the roof. My name is still intermission. Oh, that's because it was.
Yeah, and that kid, man, I wish I could record radio transmissions because he called in like a scared private. He's like, they came in, they killed everybody, sir. I don't know what to do. I was like, wait for him to leave. He's like, wait for him to leave. I'll get you help. He goes, he's shot. Nope, stay where you are. Wait for him to leave. I'll get you help. He calls back a little bit later. He goes, they all left, and I flipped the box. I was like, okay, well, I'm sending in 10 guys to come back you up. All right.
And that was truly, it was truly funny because the first guy, I just put the gun in barrel. I pulled a Virchew on him. I just went, "You're dead," and he goes, "I knew it." Like that. He's just like, "I knew it." And then the other guy, I pointed my gun at him. I was like, "Eh?" And he goes, "I'm dead." Then one guy did shoot me from one of the cells. He got me good, and I was like, "Hit! I am hit!" And he came up and. Then we had our resing and everything else. So it actually, that was a pretty good interaction. We wanted to try to keep people as active as possible. Then that whole, the whole shooting down the helicopter where both sides had to go for it. For the next time, we're definitely going to have 2 different radios. So then that way we could simulate the 2 different Overwatch leaders, like when I started saying Overwatch to Bulldog, come in Bulldog, go ahead, go for Bulldog. I was like, you got a guy in a HVT in a blue shirt you need to get in Building 8. One of the times he goes, I heard you the first time. I was like, well, he's still in there. We need his intel. We need to get him now. Get your guys there. And when I got taken upstairs, it was I getting it for the first event, getting into that groove of how to give you guys the information and also not to make it feel like that, because each one of you, Virchew and Weiner, you guys could both hear the missions given to the others. I trusted you both not to use that information to your advantage, but at the same time, the missions were there for you to screw up anyway. They caused firefights and all that. So I know that was part of the feedback that we got to change that in the future, and that will be addressed. But I will say the last part of that Evo, which was for Tan to get the bomb all the way over to closest to green CP as possible, that was that was hilarious just watching, because I was adminning. I was waiting for somebody to be able to go through and do it. I went and I said, I called over to Bulldog. I said, you guys still got a pickup that you could do, Bulldog? He goes, come pick him up. I was like, all right, I'm on my way. But the bomb was in F. Green was pushing up the side of F. Dark Horse 6 was inside of F. Their standing orders were to shoot Green. Tan was like, screw that. I'm not going in there. Dark Horse Op 4's in there. And there's a firefight going on outside. And finally they said, what should we do? I was like, Op 4, you're to take out Green. And then they went out, pushed outside, and there was a pretty badass firefight that everybody was happy with on the outside. That was really good. So Tan goes in. They finally get a Tan team in there, Weiner. And it's like, where does this have to go? And I was like, it has to get all the way over to their CP. As close to their CP as possible. Obviously, you can't shoot out. So that first team that grabbed the bomb, there was a hell of a firefight. They got stagnated on the backside of the building. And I didn't witness, but I heard the story what happened after, which was when the firefight happened, one Tan dude was left alive, and he's there with the bomb. All the Green are interacting with him, but none of them checked him for a dead light or a dead rag. So the Green team didn't realize that the bomb was right there. Yes, sir.
Comments have stopped for at least 5 minutes.
Can people? Okay. Well, I'll just do this to make sure that comments still go.
Just make sure somebody comment, please. Let us know.
Yeah, guys, if you could comment, that'd be great. Just so we know. Yep, still will stay there. So then the Green walk off, and this dude by himself, he said it was the most slickest, shadiest thing I've ever done in Airsoft. He ran across down into E and got the bomb into E. I come rolling around with a new group of Tan, and I get the call that he's in E, and we go in there, and it's like, get the bomb. It's got to go to building 1. So they get dropped off over. I go rolling up because I saw a whole squad of Green coming up. So I stopped off at K and dropped them off, right? They all jump out. The helo's now down. That's the end of their mission time. They had all of it that was there. And they go running up. In that firefight, they were outnumbered at least 3-1. And they're fighting. Some guys got taken out from one dude from behind because they didn't look it. And I was, except for the dude with the bomb. Here we go. I was the doofus that was watching the corner. Turned my back because I thought we were just clear for – it was good for a second. All of a sudden got it, except for the dude with the bomb. So at building 6 or at building J, when the guys jumped out and they started going, they're going to building 1. I was like, all right, firefight happens. I get out and I moved the bus out of the way. I get out and I go through because I realized we don't have an admin with the bomb right now, so we don't know where the bomb is. So I went looking for the bomb. I parked the bus, went over. And the guy's inside the door, inside the bomb in building 1. He goes, because I know we're not allowed to shoot at the spawns, but what if I put my gun down, don't take any weapons, and I run it into their CP? I gave it like a 30 seconds I had to think about it, and I was like, no, because if it happens here, it's going to happen over there. And I know what happens if it happens over there with that CO. He'd get mad. So it actually was a really epic move on Tan's side to get that bomb for maximum points because it was the closest point it could possibly get inside of a building to green CP. So good on that second team that ran the bomb. Good on the guy that, that scurried away with the bomb to begin with. But the second team, yeah, it was pretty awesome.
Yeah, that caused one of the most hilarious moments with my command group. They come back, they tell me they just killed a bunch of guys with a bomb. I said, well, where's the bomb? And they all stare at me blankly. And I was like, did you leave it there so that they can just pick it up again? And they all stared at me. I said, all right, you three go look over there for that bomb. They go, they come back, they say it's gone. And I'm like, God damn it.
So that was like, besides like going around and seeing all this stuff, what did you guys think about Evo 2?
Evo 2 was a lot of fun for us, at least. We got a lot of good firefights in. The attrition definitely affected gameplay. Like I say, it's the cry mentality, we call it down here. I don't want to mess up my cry, so I'm going home. Like we had a lot of people agree that checked out too, but like the Tan crowd, like I'm not gonna say I felt bad because fuck you guys, I'm gonna win. Like we got into firefights and I kept going, where are the rest of them? Where are the rest of them? And they're like, they all left. And I'm like, what the hell? But no, there's a couple of moments during Evo 2 where I pulled our guys back to try to let Tan come in and get some, but like I don't know what it was. They didn't want to come into buildings. Unless it was a big engagement, they didn't want to do it. But we watched from the windows of E. There's between E and 5. There's that high grass in the middle in that courtyard. We watched 10 tan dudes set up camp in there, and I watched green guys go by, and they wouldn't engage. And eventually, I just sent some guys out from E. I was like, just go up behind them and shoot them. But we watched for a solid 10, 20 minutes. They didn't leave the damn bushes.
One thing, Weiner, your thoughts?
My thoughts? The attrition after the first Evo, we lost the QRF, walked away. They couldn't handle the cold, and someone had to work on Sunday, so they walked away after the. I was like, I mean, we lost. I tell you what, the guys who stuck around and stuck it out and with the firefights, my hat's off to them. They were awesome. They may have been new to Mills, all that, which I said, like I said, 80% of them were brand new to Mills. So they stuck it out. We're still learning, still getting their feet wet, things like that. They weren't used to that type of organization, I guess you could say. It's a team deathmatch, and it wasn't. They knew how to get objectives. That's the only thing I can. That when I went out in the field and was running around with a bunch of guys, I mean, I was in some of the best firefights ever. It may have been all the 2 or 3 guys with me. We were doing it, but we were in some good firefights. Enjoyed it.
Yeah, I watched you running around.
Weiner was in the mix.
Yeah, dude, I love that in LCO, especially if I'm going against them. Like I said, I like to lead from the front. My security detail was so pissed at me. I didn't ask for security detail. They assigned themselves to my security, and they got so irritated every time I would like, all right, let's go. I'm leading the charge. They're like, would you get back here?
There's something I'm going to point out that was not used by DEA that probably should be really considered and used in the future for the AO. This is a bit of intel for all the people that are watching. And let's go ahead and share the screen again. So Alpha's right here. I'm sorry, right here. And there was a pathway that had 0 resistance that you could go from Alpha, behind B, behind C. You could enter in the back door of D. There's also a gateway that was open that allowed you to enter this side of 7. And to get inside all these buildings, there was also access right here on this side of 7 and D. So you had all this access and all this space. I did not see it utilized once the entire weekend. And it could have been awesome flank maneuvers for.
How would you know? You're in the buildings and the tunnels.
They definitely used it. Yeah, they definitely used it. Yep. I watched it was about a 6-man squad of Tan that kept using it repeatedly. Now, I don't know if they shared the information with the rest of their team, but they definitely used it to come up behind.
they were a good team that was running together. But yeah, no, they did. It's just other guys weren't. I had 1s and 2s, lots of 1s and 2s.
Yeah, so that's what that's just what I witnessed, and I was just hoping that I was wrong.
Hydrocodone for the older crowd. Get it right, Bruno. Hydrocodone.
So that's actually a really good flank spot that I found, and I actually pointed out to all the tan guys that I was taking around. Look, this is an awesome flank maneuver for this side. The spawns are going to change up a little bit for the next game, so we're not going to give any precursor, but per storyline, obviously tan lost their alpha. It was taken over by the Green Swarm. So it was actually what I saw. So for the second Evo, things got a little bit better, but there was definitely a push issue. So hopefully you guys can recruit some heavy hitters that are not scared of the cold and will stick around for a while. That's like one aspect of it I would see for the future is hopefully that you guys can get that going. But I don't think we're going to have an attrition issue in late April. It should be warm enough to where people are not concerned about 30 degree. Who won? We'll get to that in a minute because the next game is going to go pretty fast.
You don't know who won?
Actually, Joker, that whole route is the reason I had to yell at the guy about the giant hairball of razor wire.
No, that razor wire is hold on. That razor wire is
it's off to the side of E.
It's right here, right in front of 8.
8. Yeah. All right.
Yeah, because you can't get past this spot. Which I'm going to talk to the guys and see if they can open up the fence line. Like I want to keep since B is never going to be in play. I'd rather keep B blocked off. But if we could open up the fence between C and B right here, or in C and D, and obviously between 7 and 8, so in other words, you have the pathways that you can go behind the buildings, that'll be great.
No, you won't. Shut up.
For $500, I go tan. So there was a cool thing. Like also at the beginning of the game, we didn't tell DEA about the tunnel. And
they knew.
They thought the tunnel was out of play until the second Evo. And
they were already in the tunnel when we got there. Apparently, everybody that won the JTF missions knew about it.
They weren't in the tunnel because what they ran into wasn't tan. They ran into us. They ran into the Op 4.
No, when you were down the tunnel, you came walking out. You were down one end of the tunnel. Tan was definitely down there too.
Oh, they got into the second Evo.
Yeah, Weiner. Yeah, they were definitely down there too.
Second Evo, yeah.
No, first Evo. First Evo, when we in the tunnel, we encountered you. That's why we pulled back. We got hit from the side by Tan. They were spamming grenades down.
That's not the tunnel.
That was in the basement. In the tunnel.
That's in the basement, not in the tunnel. The tunnel, you guys were the only ones that went in there. I know because I shot the first person that came through that tunnel. I shot him and it backed off.
You're talking about where the cereal room is, right?
Yeah. I shot the first person out that door.
Yeah, there was Tan already down there because they were hiding in the cereal room when we got there.
No.
We got naded out of the cereal room.
That wasn't Tan. That was Op 4. That was Op 4. I'm telling you, it was Op 4. I could probably pull up the video and show. We were
that's what I thought, Yordi.
I'm talking about the main tunnel at the
very start of the game. Yordi was down there with me. We killed Tan in the tunnel.
You guys killed him on the second Evo, but the start of the game, Tan was not down there because when I walked past you, I went out. You were fighting against Op 4. I guarantee it. In fact, I think, yeah, see? Dark Horse 6 was in the tunnel. It was Dark Horse 6. They were in the cereal room. We're set up in the cereal room. That's where the basement is where I'm at. It was all near there.
So, I was down there too, and Dan was down there.
Yeah.
They got down in there because when I came running past you to say, "Where's my entrance?" That's when Tan was coming in. They got in at roughly that time, but the first firefight you guys got into was all with Op 4. I bet $1. I bet you $1. I bet you $1 because I could pull.
I'm reading chat, dude. I know the dude I shot was wearing Tan because I walked up to him to check for intel.
That was not at the start of the game. I'm telling you.
It was right after you went back. When you came out,
yeah,
you were trying to figure out where you went.
That's when I enticed Tan to come in and fight inside the building. They weren't in the tunnel, though. They didn't. Anyway.
Gordy says Tan was there, too.
Yeah, you already...
Tan was not in the tunnel, guys, because Tan didn't even get onto the field. They got into the basement. The tunnel is that one long thing that has no corridors that come off.
Second Evo, we were on the field.
We were there from before the game started. I can tell you right now, Tan did not get in there until I.
Did you pre-insert Tan again before the second
Evo? Third Evo, when
I don't know how.
Were the numbers really? Yeah. Was there that big of a disparity in the numbers?
Yes. For the third Evo, it was so bad that they pretty much turned it into a TDM game.
Okay.
People got mixed and matched. It didn't count for points because there just was not enough people.
It didn't count for points.
See previous statement. There was not enough.
I'm asking. I wasn't out there, so I don't know. So the game itself went from first and second Evo.
It didn't count.
Was that
when I got captured during the third Evo? It didn't count, huh?
No, that's the fourth Evo you're thinking about there, Skippy.
It was. Oh, that's right. You count the third Evo as nighttime?
Yeah, night one was on the thing was third Evo.
Okay.
So night game, there was only like I think 40 people, and most of it was green that wanted to play. So they did mix and match and played out there.
I was burnt out. I had to leave the field.
Yeah, I had to go get. I think we went to dinner, right?
Yeah.
By the way, Vito's evidently was great because we went there every single night.
What was the name of the place?
Vito's.
Okay.
That pizza place.
Oh, that pizza place?
Yeah.
Awkward segue since you brought up food. Is it me or is every restaurant in the area not understand what seasoning is actually for?
No.
It's Pennsylvania.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. All right. You sent me a video. All right, I'll check it in a second. So the night game, it was pretty much that. Hopefully next time that we actually can play the missions and everything else because we'll have enough players out there to play the game and have a good time. And then we go into Sunday. Sunday, there was only 2 admins. There was myself and Dylan. We put the spawn points closer to inside we moved it from.
On Sunday, there was only 2 admins?
At the start of the game, yeah. It was me and Dylan. Yeah. So we moved the buildings we moved the spawns up to F and C. Was putting on either side because there still was I think Tan had 30 players and Green had a little bit more. So we gave Tan all of Op 4 to balance out the numbers. Yeah, night was biggest problem because one guy switched sides and killed the whole team. Okay. Let's see here. Thank you for the patches, Weiner. We got that. So for the start of the second Evo, we had a couple things that we had to pick up. We had to start picking up props and all that. So when the game started, it looks like they came I know one of them was Brainerd. They came around the corner pretty hot and heavy, and I was about to call them off, except Weiner then decides Weiner and Bulldog go marching away from CP and start engaging. I was like, okay, so much for shooting at CPs. So go for it, Weiner. How did the second, the fourth Evo or Sunday work for you?
I had fun. I was out there shooting, running the gun with the guys. There was just at that point we had so little guys, and Bulldog stayed back at the CP, so I got to go out in the field this time.
Yeah.
So I'm watching my capture on Sunday. Antonio sent me the video. It's pretty badass. Cracking up. Yeah, that whole thing with Tinker and stuff was just off the chain. The whole firefight was.
I'm really glad that especially with the lower numbers, because we went from 260 some odd players out on the field down to, I think it was like the final count was upwards of like maybe only 75, like 85, maybe 90 players.
Yeah, I think there was like 15 of us and 70 of them.
There was more than that.
Whatever.
All I know is I
guys
had plenty of targets to shoot at when I came out, and I didn't see it hardly. I did see my regular tan guys out there, but yeah, they were there. They were out in the buildings hiding out somewhere.
Yeah, I'm still pissed at Bulldog. I wish somebody got it on video. I did this epic charge through Building 5 all the way to the other end. We cleared them all out. I get to the last doorway. I pop out. I look left, nobody. I look right. There's fucking Weiner and Bulldog. Bulldog looks at me, raises his gun. I back up through the door. And as I'm yelling, they're over there. This miracle BB comes through another side door between two people, nails me in the neck.
You know what that is? You know what that is?
I know exactly what that is.
That's a D-Hop barrel, sir.
Yes, sir.
That's the D.
That's not a miracle BB. That's every shot through a D-Hop barrel. Just saying.
That firefight was on. Then your guy shot me through the door, and I rolled down the hill.
By the way, speaking of videos on Sunday, I just got sent the video of my raffle, and if you watch like the first minute in the beginning, I look like Abby Hoffman with Sin sitting in front of me as my Black Panther militant security guard. You have to watch this and watch it without no audio. Just watch it without the audio. And that's exactly what it looked. I'm sitting here watching. I'm trying not to lose my shit because it's so. Since sitting like this, watching the crowd, just doing these. I'm up there, hands are waving. I look like I'm protesting every war that's ever happened. I gotta.
I don't have it, so I'll share it.
I'm gonna send it. I'll send it to you.
All right, I'll share it. I'll share it and put it up there as soon as we go to talking about the raffle and the end of stuff. Oh, yeah. Something I got to talk about Saturday night. MK Airsoft graciously bought everybody dinner.
Would you shut up? I didn't get any of that, so I don't want to hear about it.
Hold on, Weiner. Hold on.
No, we're going to talk about that because, 1 second. Damien, knock it off.
Yo, Damien.
He just
one of these days.
He goes,
pow.
Fucking cheetahs. I'm like, what the hell, kid?
No idea where he gets that from. Where would he learn that kind of language?
Never from me. I don't know what you're talking about.
No way.
So I bought 3 briskets, seasoned them, cured them for an entire week. They were beautifully spiced, tasty, ready to go, delicious. And all the racks were full. They were packed in there. Great. Somebody on Saturday decided that they weren't going to wait for dinner and help themselves to an entire slab of meat. Whoever took it, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you fucking choked on it. I hope you died, and that's why you didn't come back to the game. That was kind of a dick move, whoever stole my meat. I know it's delicious, but
you want to have
there was about 15, 20 people that didn't get a chance to have smoked brisket that weekend because somebody decided to take an entire slab. It was really good. I know it's good because I saw it in there. Yordi didn't get any meat. A lot of these guys come up just to eat my meat. Weiner just wants to have my meat. Sin didn't have my meat.
Most staff and vendors and things like that didn't get any.
No, we allowed the players to eat. There was about 10 players that didn't get a chance, or 5 or 6 players that didn't get a chance to eat the meat. What's going overboard?
Who said that?
People stealing the meat.
Oh, that Jesus going over. I don't like it. I really despise people especially at an airsoft event or a Milsim event where they steal. And stealing something like brisket means, like a lot of guys get mad about that. So somebody had to have gone on, come around the backside, taken the meat, and it had to have happened either when the first smoke was going on, because I did not notice it on the second, because that thing was double smoke too. I hoped you choked on the meat. I hope that it gave you massive diarrhea because you ate too much fat. I hope it clogs your arteries so you get heart condition. And
You're
if
so
people
mean and vindictive.
if you guys are taking offense to that, I hope you choked on it. That was the one I was going to make again, Josh, for Saturday for Sunday, and it didn't happen. So but I'm just so mad that somebody decided to take off that entire slab. That was really kind of a dick move.
Mark's meat in everybody's mouth. Wyatt.
Wyatt, what WTF did I come into? Somebody stole the brisket, a slab of brisket at the event we were at that was provided by MK Airsoft for everybody to have. I mean, Gabe spent a lot of money on that brisket to get me to prep it and to feed people, and they didn't have the food to eat, and that was kind of like a jerk move. So, anyways,
all I see in my mind is some dude in a porter john cuddling it like Schmeagol, going, "My precious." Because somebody's going to notice you eating a slab of meat. Like,
the funny thing is, like when I make it normally, there's a lot left over, and people will take the rest of the slab and walk away with it, right? I mean, I give it away; it's not a problem. Yeah, Christian didn't get it. I didn't get my own meat. I was like, I'm so mad. It's like I didn't even get a chance to eat my own meat. I had a little taste to make sure the flavor was there at the very beginning, but it was just a little tip. Exactly, it was just a little burnt end, and I'm like, what the hell? So, yeah, I just wanted to address that real quick because that walked away out of the smoker, which means you had to have been on the field to steal it too. Because I don't think you could have walked through.
Where's the beef?
Where's the beef? No, you have no idea because it makes me feel it puts a negative light on me. I get shit from the one that's down here because he won't ever let shit like that go. Yeah. So, anyways, going on to day 3, game ends. We go up and then we start prepping for the raffle. And so we had some awesome raffle items. I cannot express enough how awesome the raffle items were. Sin, I did not expect you to be given an $800 pistol away. Papa, no offense, but I expected you to give what you gave away. You lived up to expectations. No. I'm not saying like that. I'm saying that you lived up to expectations per night. If you guys have never been to an event where a DEO is a sponsor, it's not unusual. It's not unusual to get that much shit all at once. It's like the epic grand prize. Amped gave out some great stuff. MK Airsoft gave out great stuff. Press and Apparel gave out great stuff. Tax gave out some great stuff. Everybody gave a lot of cool stuff that out there. So I really wanted to express that there was. Did you all hear that?
You farted or something?
No, that was the wife, and she
farted.
The boy. Maybe next year I can hit this up with my people. Well, Wyatt, here we go. We got the tickets ready. Incoming. So the raffle kicks off, and of course, we also had the raffle for the battle bus, which we raised $523. So $23 went to Make-A-Wish Foundation. Hopefully, next time it will be better. Like we can always make it bigger and better. We always try to make around at least $500 on the raffle. But for those of you that weren't at the event, we have really awesome news for Damien. Sorry, he doesn't need to hear this. Make-A-Wish will be here on Thursday to go over to finalize the wish to help him get an action tracked here. So pretty soon, Papa is going to be busy making a tracking system for a gun to get mounted for, so that little badass can go riding across the field inside of a tank and shooting people. So it was really awesome that this is coming true for him, because Weiner knows I've been trying to get this for him for almost 3 years now. Papa knows that too. Virchew just found out about it like back in Bad Blood. It's really awesome. By hell or high water, come January of next year, he'll have January 2022. He'll have his new action track chair, because we finally did get approved for at least a loan to get him his track chair from Eco Rover if need be. So that's like the awesomeness of that. So, all right. Well, let's look at this video that Greg sent me. Now, does somebody have the video of the gift I was given?
I don't know who has the video.
I don't know.
The gifts you were given.
Yeah, the gift I was given.
Make sure you make sure you show just the beginning of the video.
With you want
audio though. You have to turn the audio off.
Okay.
Trust me. Just trust me with the audio off, and then think about what I just said. I swear that's what it looks like.
All right. All right.
You
So
can go a couple seconds in after I do the patch. Like I do the patch toss and all that. After that's when I start talking. Now, Sin, like looking around the crowd, watching the crowd intently, making sure nobody's got guns, nobody's trying to take me out.
Old habits die hard, man.
Oh, this poor guy. I felt bad for this dude. I shouldn't have done that. I really shouldn't have done that.
Such a douche move.
So wait, all right. So
he really does.
You tell them bastards up in the White House, up on Capitol Hill, that they can all go to hell. Not my war, not my problem.
Sorry, can I play video yet, or?
I just wanted to show that one little piece. I just thought that was funny.
Somebody said dub this with a communist manifesto.
Ant made a statement, 15 years in business. This is not an easy business, not an easy industry. Ups and downs, things like that. The fact that they've been in business 15 years is because of you guys. So thank you very much for that. We're going on 3 years total right now, like barely, right? We just thank you very much. I appreciate that. We're doing everything we can. You guys know how we feel about the community. So
like a little dictator.
Normally, we don't. We're only doing one raffle ticket. We try to give everything away at once that we can. And apparently,
I'm hiring Sin. You
get extra in this one. So what we decided to do this time, we're giving away a kit. We like to give kits away, so you can have a full-fledged kit. We've done grenadiers, we've done snipers. This one here is the L&T set. So, there's a patch.
You don't have to play the whole thing.
All right, let's see here. All right. Oh yeah. There we go. So I'm getting it. All right. So when this whole thing like kicked off, right? I was told that Weiner and Bulldog had a special gift for me. Now, to preface this, earlier today, this time, Yordi was going to be my body double, and we were going to go out there and play together and have fun. And he's wearing a blue shirt, in one of my blue Hawaiian shirts. He comes walking out with his camera up, and he's recording. So he's walking towards me. It's like, oh, we're going to take a video or something together. So I go to walk over to him, and then all of a sudden, he quickly darts behind me. And when he moves out of the way, there's Greg walking towards me with a grin on his face. I say, hell no. I go to run because I knew something was up. They tried grabbing me by the jacket. That didn't work because I just slipped out of that as if it was snakeskin. I was like, nope. And almost made it out the door before I got pelted in the back with a snowball.
Mm-hmm.
I then promptly got Greg back about 5 minutes later with another snowball to the back of his neck and made sure it went down the back of his shirt because his snowball went down the crack of my ass. For those of you to know, I have a pretty big crack and it just right down there. So when Weiner and Bulldog said that they had something special to give to me, I wanted a hole that I could run out of because I did not trust them to save their asses. And this is what they did. So the first thing they gave me, that little bottle right there, is prenatal vitamins. The shirt says Mama to me.
A little mama sweater that will open in the back. It opens in the back. The baby stays warm. Yes, sir. There you go. Hey, Mommy. That will tell you our relationship with our parents. What? Turn around. Disease tag everything. Fuck this, I'm going home.
they told me about this on fucking Friday, and one of the hardest things I had to do all weekend was keep my mouth shut.
So, I think it was one of the. It was clever. It was funny. I'll just point out that some of those bastards that gave me that shit have a belly bigger, as big as, or if not bigger than my own.
I have no problem saying I have a bigger belly than you, but I don't have a Dunlop. My belly don't touch my toes or hang longer than my dicky do.
Hey, man, it's not the size of the keg. It's how you tap it.
That's right.
But you know what I will say? At least none of you took it far enough to do this.
Oh, God.
We did not.
Oh, wow. Why?
That was the ladies' stirrup one. So
don't laugh hard, Weiner. I sent out special teams, and the entire assignment was to get you into that chair and take it.
I would have played it up.
My drink sin.
As long as you didn't pull my fingernails out, we were good.
On a whole, for this event, there was so much camaraderie that happened, especially with new players and everything else. Like, my eyes. Like, I met Jay Rodriguez for the first time at this event, right? And mind you, he's been on the things before. He's been following. He's been making comments. He bought like a shit ton of pyro from Papa, where I parked my RV. Which that's the part we're going to get into now, Papa. The final thing is we could talk about housing. Where I parked my RV, Jay was right behind me, and Jay goes, "Joker, come check this out." He opens up, he's got all this pyro. So what I do is I walked over and I go in and I open up the top and I just take out an EG67 as he's watching. Didn't ask, just like, this is mine now. So all weekend long, each time I see him walking by with his hips full of pyro, I would try to take it.
He had just it all tucked in all the way through.
Yeah, that was like absolutely awesome. There was also Weiner has now a nuke nickname. It is now the Steel Weiner.
Steel Weiner.
Steel Weiner.
That's right.
PJ Cooley says our team is looking at 2 new prospects found at this event. That's kind of awesome that we bring these things together. That's part of what we do. Now I wanted to touch on the housing. So
can I give a self-serving account of something?
No.
Self-serving.
So one of my team guys, Ches, was out. He went out. He was playing. He was with he was with about like a dozen guys, give or take, something like that. And they were they're fighting, and all these guys are trying to shoot across the field, trying to hit. There's wind blowing everything, and they're trying to shoot, and they can't hit the guys they're aiming at. They're fighting against Tan. They can't hit the guys. They turn around, they look at Ches, and they go, "Oh, you're one of them DEO guys, right? You got that D-hop in there. Come on, big bad D-hop. Why don't you hit him then?" All sarcastic. Ches leans out. Yeah. Leans back in. They're all like, "Oh!" D-hop.
There were so many great stories that came in despite the weather. I mean, when we were given the safety brief, it starts fucking snowing. And we're like, what the hell is this shit? It seems like each time we went up to address the crowd, it started snowing. So we got wise to this and held everything else indoors, which I think was smart. Let's go over to housing so we get that last bit of bad shit out of the way.
Leave it to Mishka.
Yeah.
Oh my
I know
God.
What he's talking about. I know what he's talking about.
I know that. Do you want to tell the story, or could I tell the story?
Oh yeah. So apparently, the other black guy on green is weird as that sounds for me to say. Tan captures him thinking he's the CO because apparently they told it's the black guy. So the outcasts are in the building, and Nick, who's also the field manager for me at Crucibal Airsoft, Massillon, Ohio, shameless plug.
No, it's not shameless. Crucibal Airsoft, best damn field out there, right?
Yeah, we are right now the #1 supplier in Ohio. But so Nick leans out in the hallway and he looks down. And he's like, leans back. He's like, "That's not Sin." As I come through another doorway, I say, "What's going on?" They said, "Well, apparently they've captured you." I go, "What?" I look down the hall and I go, "They captured the wrong black guy. They caught my stunt double." What do you do? I was like, "Fuck it, shoot him."
Oh my God.
But they make it out of the building, and the guy looks at me. He makes eye contact with me, and Tan still doesn't realize they
Hey,
have
Nick,
the
you
wrong
might want to
guy.
hang on a second, bud.
Oh shit.
And then fucking I hear them talking to him. They go, "You're the CO, right?" He doesn't say anything. He's dead silent the entire time they're escorting him out. So apparently they got him all the way back to the CP, and Bulldog's like, "That's not their CO."
Oh God. That's so funny. Holy shit.
Wow.
Oh.
Oh God,
Oh,
it's
God.
absolutely fantastic that happened.
Oh,
Because when it came back, I started laughing my ass off when I heard that. I was just like, you got to be kidding me. Let's see here. All right,
oh. I love
what I
subliminal.
need now, before we go, like as we start talking for this, I need everybody to comment that's still watching at least once. I need to get a bunch of names down real quick for something special here. So let me go over my housing, then I'll let Papa finish up with his bitch fest about the hotel. So I decided, in my infinite wisdom, that I was going to go ahead and uh, go ahead and just make a post about or get an RV so I could be on site. There's a couple problems that were there, and it was just really freaking hilarious that I got this RV, get that to the site, get set up until I was like, I thought I was being clever. I thought I was being great. I thought that, you know what? I'm here on site. I have an RV. I'll be nice and warm and everything else. Oh, was I freaking wrong? Evidently, the RV that I got would only run the heat for every 2 hours unless you ran the engine. So we didn't discover this till like 3:00 in the morning on Thursday night. I wake up inside the
It's snowing in the RV.
it was pretty damn near. Get up, get on the phone with, try to get the stupid thing to kick over, get on the phone. Turns out I was like, I started the engine up and had it go. So now I have two options. Either I run the engine, which they advised against this idling the front engine, because evidently the propane heater is not on the generator, because I would have ran the generator. No, it's on the engine. So it was just really screwed up. And it led for a very uncomfortable weekend for Sarah, myself, except for Angie. Angie brought like 4 blankets, a sleeping bag, and all that stuff. That kid was bottled up like a freaking burrito. It didn't really affect her at all. She's like, "It's warm in here." I was like, until I ripped open the thing, I was like, "Yeah, because you're." Oh, anyways,
Sarah wanted to kill you.
I know she was. She was not happy. Papa, tell us your hotel experience.
So I'm trying to find somewhere I have it here. Trying to find the video that my guys sent to me, so I could share it with you.
Is there a lag? Oh, his picture's frozen.
Who?
Papa's. He's frozen on
Oh,
mine.
he's moving. That's you.
No, that would be you, Wiener.
Wiener,
Why? Everybody else is moving but you.
No, your connection is real low, Weiner.
So, Papa, is this the staff hotel?
This was this was the Red Carpet Inn.
Yeah, we were there.
Which, if there was red carpet, it was bloodstained, first of all. Okay. The 4th floor, which was 2 stories down, I think is how that went. We stayed on the 3rd floor. If you went all the way down, you got to experience, it was either construction or demolition due to black mold. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm being sincere. There was black mold throughout the hotel, whatever you want to call the damn thing. I didn't go the first night because I stayed in a trailer, which apparently I was the smart one. I had the upscale accommodations by staying in my travel trailer. The videos that they sent was of this haunted, just overwhelmingly dank place. And then when I did stay the next night, I actually went into the rooms, and I have to tell you, one of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. I've stayed in better foxholes. It was absolutely terrible. I went to take a shower, and I took a shower. The towel that I used was previously stained. What I mean is that you couldn't scrape the stain off anymore. It wasn't fresh. It had been washed. They just left the stain on it. The ceiling tiles, there were actual tiles throughout the room, were knocked out, rusted. There was no way to control the heater. The heaters were just on. So you had to open your window, which again, another violation because there's no screens on the window. I'm not kidding about any of this. I wish I was. There were like the only reason there weren't rats in the rooms themselves is because they were smarter than us. The rats knew better than to be in the hotel. It was so I found a little thing and I was like, you know what this is? This is something that goes over the telephone. And I found the telephone hidden and I picked it up, and every single one of the buttons that you use to dial, like the operator, front desk, room service, all of those buttons had actually been taken out. They were empty holes. And the dial tone, and I picked the phone up. There was obviously, of course, there was no dial tone. You could not do any of that. My words were to Joker, if we had stayed longer, if I had the time, if I cared enough, I honest to God would have called the health inspector. Yeah.
You're right. I stayed at the same hotel, and it was a fucking train wreck, and I got doubly screwed because I could deal with all that. The reason I stayed at the hotel was because I figured I wasn't going to stay with my boys because I wanted to get sleep because I have to be functional. Then I come out of my room, and the room next to me is half of Outcast, and the room on the other side of me is the other half of Outcast, and they're having a good old time all fucking night. So I put my earbuds in, and I'm like, all right, I can zone this out. And then they started working on something above me, and it sounded like demo charges were fucking going off.
All right, so last call. If you're still in the thing and you have not commented in a little bit, say your name now. You're probably going to want to do that.
How do we comment?
You don't get this, nor does Virchew, nor does Papa. It looks like so. I'm going to give it about another 20 seconds for people to comment before I tell you what's going to happen. Yeah, Mishka, you don't count.
I'm pretty sure that's the same sentence Mark used before he got married.
Gosh, you don't count either. Oh, there we go. Hold on, Lexi. All right, let's see here. Shut up, Mishka.
And the sad thing, Pop, is I've stayed in worse hotels. Like next time we meet up, I'm going to show you some pictures of this place in Canada. They had a Camaro outside that had Bible verses painted all over it. In every room, the wallpaper was Bible verses. And we could tell this because we had to grab the wallpaper and stretch it back out onto the wall because it kept coming down and hitting me in the fucking head.
Well, I will say this, guys. When it came down to the reason why the hotel situation was what it was, there was only one hotel that could accommodate any amount of people, and it was that hotel. It was Penn State weekend, and whenever there's a Penn State weekend, it's there. All right, so 12 more seconds or 10 more seconds, I'll go ahead and cut off for the comments. We will make sure that dead Neil in the future. I think the biggest problem was because how cold it was. People sort of forgot and they're like, screw that. I'm not going down to the ground. I died epically a few times. All right. Okay. So we have everybody pretty much that's here or that has commented so I could possibly see. So what we're going to do here is I put everybody's name inside the random name picker for people that are not staff, that are not going to have a free ticket or anything else. And I put them into raffle off giveaway a free ticket for the next event. So I'm going to go ahead and click this random name. Whoever name comes up gets a free ticket to Operation Big House Syndicate 2.
Electric Boogaloo.
What the hell?
God, Joker.
Oh, you sons of fucking whores. Who's the person that won?
You got to pay for that info, buddy.
Oh, you got to be shitting me after all the names I just got. Oh, there we go. Let's try this one more time, shall we? I guess we have to watch a damn ad now. Oh, really? Brandon Brooks, you have won a free ticket to Operation Big House Syndicate 2. So, congratulations, guys. The reason why that like Mishka, you don't get to because you're coming with JTF, so you already get a free ticket. So, oh my God, do you guys see how many ads are on this fucking site?
Congratulations, Brandon. Hey, before we shut off, I just sent you that video. I want you to play that real quick.
All right, hold on. Let me get off this freaking.
The video that my guys sent me of the hotel when they did it. Sin, tell me if I'm wrong. The hotel looked like the AO.
Dude, it looked like fucking Bates Motel in there. I'm not gonna lie.
So
I stayed in one of those up in Greensboro, North Carolina. Had the long hotel with the mirror at the end. Oh my God!
Dude, when I was in the Army, we stayed in World War I fucking iron barracks that looked better than this place.
Huh.
I'm sorry, guys. Really, it was the only hotel. Next time we actually have we're already in talks with a couple of the hotels because we're 6 months out. We can get the block set up so that we can get some stuff going. All right, here we go. All right, I have to now share this because evidently I have to be informed on how bad this was.
All right. No, you have to. Mm-hmm. This is not like the basement or something like that. We're not going somewhere where we shouldn't be. These are just some rooms, not our rooms.
Those were condemned rooms.
Yes.
Holy shit!
They were just out there.
The floor was open.
Who showed me
look at
that
the ceiling.
That's interesting. A window inside. Huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's how they all were. And I looked it up. Legally, they should have been shut down, period, if they had black mold in any part of the building.
Yeah, because there was actually no separation between the black mold and the other parts of the building. Had there been filtration or separation, it's okay. Yeah, does it not look like the AO? Like we should have gone there to play. It should have been an objective.
Did you get that? Did you get that link there, Wyatt? That you were asking? Did you see the link for Big House 2?
No,
it was at the Y.
It was sent over text though. It was sent as a 3GPP.
That's the same guy that takes video footage of alien abductions.
Ghost hunters.
Hold on. Where is he watching me from? Wyatt, are you watching this on Central Penn site? This is honestly amazing, though. I mean, I know it's like on a loop again, but
yeah, you can't stop watching it. This is where we stayed.
I'm sorry, guys.
Even better, I got to give you this one. This one's funny. One of the rooms was actually a smoking room, which I didn't think that existed anymore, but apparently it does. They have smoking rooms in hotels still, or that hotel.
Pennsylvania, parts of New York, and some parts of San Francisco, I think, they still have smoking rooms in hotels.
So they had a smoke detector in this room, and the gentlemen that were smoking in that room, just for fun, were smoking into the smoke detector just to see if somehow they could get it to go off.
It don't work that way.
Oh. It's that's all. That's all. I can't do more than that. I can't give. That's where we stayed.
So that makes perfect sense why this hotel was the only hotel that was open
Mhm.
with rooms available. Wow.
I'm surprised you called and they were probably like, "You want to stay here? Here? You sure you called the right place?"
There was rust on anything that was paint that was metal in the room itself, like the heater, the radiator, any of that stuff. If there was metal, there was actual rust.
Yeah, the shower heads were rusty. Like the tubs did not actually contain water; they were just an optical illusion because the water just went straight to the floor.
Yeah, it was like Sin. 10 years in the Army, I've never stayed in a worse place.
I'm sorry, guys.
It would have been worse. By definition,
you know what? Honestly, I would have traded the RV for one of those rooms by Saturday night.
Yeah, Smurf's right. We actually ordered one room and somehow ended up getting a 2-room suite. I wasn't gonna bitch about it.
Yeah, that's not a benefit. They just gave you more black mold.
The Wii is nice.
It was all right. I can't complain. Our room was awesome. Antonio had a bad room, and Rage, who swapped rooms so Bulldog didn't have to go up the stairs. They got a horrible room.
We had an unplugged fridge. All our stuff was unplugged.
Our heater worked great. Shower was awesome. It
Yeah,
was a little old and dated, but I didn't have a single problem with our room.
The Grand Altoona is actually supposedly a pretty nice hotel. I stayed at the Wii last time and this time until I got the RV. I'll be doing the RV.
I'm going to find the most haunted cell in the prison and stay there just for comfort. Just for comparable comfort.
I know we're over time, but I just wanted to finish up with some of the stuff that we're looking at improving in the future for Operation Big House 2. So tickets are now live. And we posted it up. Yeah.
Brandon had to ask the front desk for sheets and towels. They are a little stained, but promise they are clean. He's not lying. I just didn't know they actually said that to them.
I'm surprised they didn't just send you to Walmart or something. We don't have any. Could you get us some?
Now, I thought when we went to Sirius Viking, I got us an Airbnb, and the Airbnb said it would sleep like 16 people or some shit like that. Like a big old. We got there, and it was 2 mobile homes, like manufactured homes, 2 mobile homes that they jammed together. It wasn't a double wide originally. It was like 2 mobile homes they jammed together. Literally when we got in,
Wyatt, check your messages. I just sent them to you.
In the main bedroom, there was rat turds, like for real on rat turds. I found the hole in which they were coming in from, and I blocked it off. That place was better than this motel.
Oh God. Well, I truly am sorry that the hotel was like that. It makes perfect sense why they were the hotel that had a vacancy with Penn State weekend going on. So I really am sorry, guys, that happened. Moving forward, we're going to be working with the Grand Altoona to get you guys a good rate and all that. We're going to work with a couple of the hotels in the area that we know are like the Wii and all that. The Wii is actually a really nice hotel. I think it's the closest hotel of all of them to the AO. It's only like 8 miles away. And you only make one turn. So what we're going to change in the future is we're definitely going to add more intel packs that players can carry. We're going to make it clear when it comes down to how much drugs you can carry away. Like Alex made a comment that the tan guy, because we had just picked up a whole lot of cocaine and heroin from the green CP, so it was on the bus right there. Fallon saw it and goes, "Take it and run." That's not how that's supposed to work, Alex. You should have been at the safety brief, bro. 3 bags of heroin, 1 bag of cocaine. That's it. We actually have some more props in the future that we're looking to obtain. We actually never did use the money because I don't know where the money went off to, but we were supposed to use that for bribes and all that. But we are going to get playing cards with cartel and DEA on them. And then you guys can use that as your kill cards. You go up and do it and take stuff off. There'll be intel packets with specialized intel that maybe open up new missions and everything else. The next one's going to be a lot more in depth. hopefully the weather will be a lot better, so that way people can actually play outside and engage more of the open field. Now, if we can get it done, we might actually enclose off part of the parking area where those buildings were down below, down where Green CP was, and include those buildings into the next AO and widen it. So as normal, we're looking for feedback if there's anything else that you think we can do. But there's some stuff that we're not going to budge on. No full auto indoors, no riot shields. The guy that showed up with the riot shield, that guy was cool, but it did cause exactly what I thought it was going to cause with it, right at the start of the game. So just, it's actually technically May, Brandon. Shut up. Don't jinx it. Why the hell are you guys jinxing the event already for bad weather? Come on, man. Think about it.
Steve.
So no full auto in buildings is still going to stay. We're going to find a way to block off the chapel so we can actually open up the pathways more behind. Hopefully by that time, the 2 portable structures are removed. And that way there's more flanking abilities for everybody out there and open up more buildings. So if you guys have any feedback to give us, by all means, send it over. We really need to hear it because we want to try to improve. Just don't get offended if we don't take the advice, because we just... There's a possibility we might not agree with it. So, anybody else has? Yeah, go ahead, Virchew.
I just one thing to say: you have 6 months out from the event. You have plenty of time to go get a coat that matches your team color. Because, dear God,
yeah, yes, I agree.
They're cheap at Walmart. You can get a light one and wear it over the rest of your shit. You have 6 months to go get a shitty green or a shitty tan overcoat to wear underneath your kit or something. The sheer amount of black multicam tops because, bro, it's cold and it's all I had.
There was 3, and it's one of the things that I was pissed off about as well, and I had to walk away because I was about to lose my shit on it. If somebody tells me, hey, do you want me to freeze? No, I don't want you to freeze. Obviously, I don't want you to freeze, dude, but the rules are the fucking rules. It's there. So, guys.
Steve, what you're asking, you're going to have to cut down to an SMG then, bud. 50 foot is 50 foot for LMG, period. You're going to have to cut to an SMG if you want something closer and go full auto. Stillwell, it takes 2 batteries now. So I don't know what the hell that's about. Walmart has 10 green suit. Yeah, go get a pair of cargo pants and a shirt for a total of $30.
I mean, your coat doesn't have to be as fabulous as mine was. I'm just saying.
I know, and that was like that was like one of the things that people said. I was like, look, guys, I don't care. I'm walking around in a $75 leather jacket, while I was, but if I was running around as a player, I had plenty of stuff to wear underneath my colors to make sure I was properly warm and everything else, like I did at Iron Horse 3. Just try to do it. We are going to try to get some more vendors. Amp said that that they're going to come back. Papa is looking at options for him to come back because that trip was a little rough.
The drive up is not happening again. We'll say it like that. The drive up is absolutely not happening again.
Yeah. I already know that Press On Apparel's recommitted to come back. Xfog was recommitted to come back. Tax is looking at coming back as well. So says coming in war crimes by grenading perfectly legal business wells. He's on the drip. He's got the drip. He already put it on his calendar, so he's coming to this one. And we actually have confirmed that Sin is going to be the green CO. We do not have a TNCO yet because we have Weiner cannot commit to it.
No, not right now. Not that month.
Who has the gear? Ship the stuff to Joker, then fly up.
Oh, I got your gear. I have his gear in my garage.
I was gonna say Weiner's got your gear. Whoa. Let's not go having Joker ship everybody's shit up. Not that I could pull small trailers. I can't pull his trailer. So guys, the tickets are live. Remember, if you're at Syndicate, Operation Big House Syndicate, you get $15 off by putting in the promo code that's in your emails. I almost said it on air. Oh my God, that would have been bad. So go ahead and get your tickets. Right now, it looks like that there's only 37 JTF missions left, so you can get those as well. We will be having a pretty nice sized black faction again. We're going to work them. Oh, that's one thing we forgot to mention when we're doing this. When we're thanking everybody up there, I turn on, it's like, everybody think up forward. And people are like everybody else is like, yeah. Think up forward. That was funny as hell. All right, guys. So with that being said, it has been 3 hours and 15 minutes and 33 seconds. We want to thank each and every one of you that has been around for the very end. Brandon Brooks, I'll send you out a promo code in a few minutes. Make sure you just send me a message on Facebook, and we can go ahead and address so we can get you that free ticket. Congratulations on your ticket. We look forward to seeing you at the next event. I am Joker from Players Wanted. With me is the man, the myth, the legend of the shortest statue, but biggest heart, Greg Paparisi from Dead End Outfitters. We got the man with the hawk, Virchew, the CEO of Green. By the way, if you haven't figured out by now, Green was victorious. Cartel did overrun the entire field. They have now taken over the TAN CP. They now control Alpha. Per the storyline, to give you guys a heads up, DEA took a massive licking in the battle against the cartel. They made a strategic retreat back to their original field office and have holed up and amassing a large force inside of Building 7 for their next great push against the Syndicate to try to get them out of the Worcester County. So if you guys just took that hint, Green now has Alpha as their CP. TAN now has Building number 7 as their CP, and we've now reshifted how the entire play goes because now almost all the AO is in play. So, there's that so there's like a little hint for what's to come. There'll be a lot more stuff coming out about. We're gonna have more HVTs for people to capture. We will try to do that thing. Maybe I might be able to make a deck of cards with people that are committed, so that way you could have like in the Gulf War, the deck of cards, like the Ace of Spades, Jack of Clubs, and all that. Maybe we'll have enough pictures that we could actually do that and see who you're supposed to capture. Thank you, Papa, for the battery, the tools, and the words of encouragement.
Absolutely,
Sunday,
my pleasure.
Saturday. And the charge of war crimes. So thank you very much, guys. I appreciate everybody coming on, and of course, thank the man who always comes to the party, but it's not a party until the Weiner shows up. Weiner from A.T.E Airsoft. We want to thank all of our sponsors: A.T.E Airsoft, Dead End Outfitters, Big House Produce, High Powered Airsoft, Preston Apparel, Tax, and all that watch us every single week. Thank you very much, you guys. Until we see you next time on the field, may your BBs fly true and your targets call your